Good evening. Good evening to all in the great state of Texas. I tell you what, it's good to be with you all tonight. It's a hot evening tonight. It's very hot. It's 90 degrees actually right now here in Dallas, Fort Worth area. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our channel contributors for you listening right now. Toni Morrison says she's watching from her TV set. Listen, I wish I had the new camera set up. A funny story. So I was waiting for the camera to get in, and it said it was delivered, right? It said it was delivered. So I checked the mailbox. There was no key in my mailbox, which means that I didn't have a package, which means that I didn't have the camera. And so, of course, I said, that gummit, USPS done lost another one of my packages. Bear in mind, USPS has never lost a single one of my packages in the history of ever in my life. But I said, that gummit, USPS always messing up my packages, man. So I went back, called the number, customer service. Okay, we'll give you a call back in 30 minutes, Mr. Wilson. Okay, cool. Filed a lost package report. Angry. I was so angry, so upset, walking down around outside upstairs. And then I saw the mail truck pull up right outside the gates of my apartments. And they brought out a big, huge box. And there was my camera inside that big, huge box, but it had so many other things with it that I just didn't know. It came with this camera, like backpack. And it was amazing, right? I said that to say that it's hard sometimes. You think that you are on the losing end of the stick, and then you realize that it just took a little bit more patience. And everything turned out fine. So I want to thank you all once again for being with us tonight. 76 people already watching as we join together in communion to discuss white supremacy. We're continuing on our Black degeneracy series that we've been kind of flowing on. StreamYard links will be available for join as soon as we get done with the main topics of the discussion. So I'll talk a little bit, and then yes, I will drop the link to join so y'all can get on and we can speak and have our daily fellowship, our bi-daily fellowship, weekly fellowship amongst each other. Heck of a show once again. And we had to I decided that we needed to go ahead and stay on this white supremacy type thing because we were getting a lot of comments. I was getting a lot of comments from obviously the Dusties. The Dusties have a lot to say, but I had a lot of comments from some of the ladies as well that were upset at me saying in particular that I don't believe in white supremacy. So today we're going to cover why I don't personally believe in white supremacy. And I think at the end of this broadcast, or at least at the end of my sermon here, you'll start to understand a little bit more why I feel the way I feel and why I say some of the things that I say. So almost 100 people watching. We will make sure that we all like the videos. I want to say, and once again, give a huge shout out to those who donate and contribute to support the channel. I'll be sure to drop the donation links, even though I know it annoys you guys sometimes, but I'll be sure to drop the donation links sparingly going forward. However, I'm going to drop them right now. But first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and get into some news. I like doing the daily news coverage just to kind of get everything flowing, get everything loosey-goosey. Pause moment right there. Just to get everything nice and, we're going to just take a deep dive in, but we got to stick our toes in the water first. Alexander Brandon with the first super chat of the night, $5. He says, yo, what's up? What's up, Alex? Good to see you again, my mans. PayPal.me/TheHonestTruth or Cash App /$truth seekers, TruthSeekers. This is brought to you by UniqueBoutiqueCandles.com as well as Mystic Tone on Instagram, Instagram.com/Mystic Tone. News articles. Patrick Mahomes. If you do not watch the NFL, if you're just in a different world, Patrick Mahomes is a football player. He's a quarterback. And some of y'all's husbands might know a little bit more about this, but there's been a sports card phenomena that's been going around and really just taking the internet by storm. And I saw this story and I figured, well, you know what, this is a pretty cool little news article here. But Patrick Mahomes, if you see one of his football cards, just know that they could sell for upwards of $4.3 million for an autographed Pat Mahomes football card. $4.3 million. Months after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It says Brady's rookie card became the most expensive trading card of all time. But now Patrick Mahomes is taking that title. Mahomes' 2017 National Treasures NFL shared autographed rookie card sold for $4.3 million, according to online auction house PWCC. If you see that card, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep it and start collecting sports cards. It's going to be a good investment. On to a little bit more of a heavy story today. Some of you might have heard this, and this is pretty disheartening, so I'm not going to get into all the details. But there was an Uber that a lady took. However, she didn't realize it was a fake Uber. And of course, it was Dusty Darrell who ended up murdering her and stabbing her 120 times as this lady here got into his vehicle by mistake. Now, we're covering white supremacy today, and I wanted to particularly use and utilize this story so we could prove a point. This man had previously actually been charged in connection or shown in connection with another alleged kidnapping when he was attempting to sell items which were stolen during a different woman's kidnapping, reports WLTX. This happened in October 19th, 2018. She was stabbed the following year, April 13th, 2019. Why was Tyrone not in jail, aka Nathaniel David Rowland, who had been charged with murder and now has been linked to a previous kidnapping in October 2018? Why was he not in jail? I'm not sure, but leave it up to the dusty derelicts, as I think Nyla says, or Lexus Exodus uses. And they will claim that white supremacy is the one mitigating factor that we have not discussed as far as black males and their cycle of jail. I want to show this video. Also, it has a video for our audio listeners. You're not going to be able to see this, but this video is actually her leaving the bar and hopping into the car. This is the last known video footage of her and her life. Just want to bring these videos to y'all, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the bug in your ear that personal safety, personal defense tools, knives, mace, anything that you can think of. Obviously, she's in an all-white crowd here, and it looks like she's in a college campus area. She was in a great location. I don't mean to say just because they're white, they're in a great location, but she was in a great location, and still the worst happened, and she succumbed. Actually, it was so brutal that the autopsy people had a hard time getting blood to actually do any tests. She had lost so much blood. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, protect yourself particularly. You get one life to live. Let's go ahead and move forward. Why am I talking about this today? Well, Lord have mercy. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can, but it's a lot to say today. It's a lot to say today. Also, if you're watching on TV, I apologize. The new camera was supposed to be hooked up, but it didn't come with the cable. I ordered the new cable from Amazon, and it was supposed to be same-day shipping, but it's not here. However, next live stream, I promise, the camera is here. It's just not set up yet, so you'll get a clearer picture for watching on TV. We're going to continue this conversation that we left off from last week in an effort to see if black degeneracy can score a few more points on the scoreboard. We're losing, by the way. I think it's a 10-2. 10 white supremacy, 2 black degeneracy. I decided that we would make today's conversation on the everlasting plague within the black male's mindset, the everlasting conqueror in the minds of the black men, and the reason why they can't pick up their traditional roles and responsibilities in society, why they can't rebuild Black Wall Street in present day times, why after decades of freedom, they still lack unifications and provisions required to progress their own infrastructure. And of course, we are talking about the system of white supremacy. If I had a little soundboard, it'd be a little thing right here, but in time. White supremacy is what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you remember last week, you'll recall the majority of the black males who called in to express their grievances. And I want to give a huge shout out to our new channel members. We had a couple of new channel members that just popped up. JJ's a new channel member. So good to see you, JJ, and a new channel member. Okay, we just had one, but thank you, JJ, for that. Shout out to all of our channel members. If you remember last week's conversation, I think all of the black males attributed white supremacy to why they couldn't fulfill their destinies in America, right? It's the white man's fault, right? They did so at the expense of their own self-pride. At one point in the live stream, where we spoke to the black males who were opposed to our message, there was a male that wanted me to admit that white supremacy existed. I believe his exact words were, well, do you believe in white supremacy? At which point I answered no. This obviously bothered him immensely, causing him to lose his potato salad. But unfortunately, I received comments from many members of this channel as well, some of them ladies who had a problem with what I had to say in regards to white supremacy. This is why I said what I said. And while I'll continue to echo my sentiments, here's my take that I feel is backed up by psychological research and as well personal experience, which I'm sure that we will all be able to relate to. First things first, I want to address something. Racial biases. We all have racial biases. If you were to walk into a stadium or attend a play in an amphitheater, it is instinctual to scan the room and the faces that are in that room to take in what we observe, right? Moreover, if we see that we're the only white person or the only black person in particular setting, room, amphitheater, stadium, that tends to have a subtle effect on our psyche. Might not be a negative, might not be a positive. It's just a bit of an effect. It's not an outright turnoff that will cause most of us to walk away from the situation, from that restaurant, from that experience. But I'd be remiss if I walked into a restaurant here in Texas and realized, I would be remiss not to say, if I walked into a restaurant in Texas and realized that I'm the only black guy there, that after realizing I'd say, well, I'm the only black guy here, huh? Now I would shrug it off. It's not going to bother me, right? It's not going to bother me. I'm gonna enjoy my meal. It doesn't bother me to the point where I can't enjoy my meal, the outing. I'm simply saying this to say that we are human. We seek comfort in our own tribes and identity. This is not racism or white supremacy. Why am I making this clear? Because when we get ready to talk about the later portions of this live stream podcast, I want us to really have a distinguished understanding of the differences between racial bias and white supremacy, right? It's a big difference. Now, I'd like to pose a stance. If you ask most black males, just like we did in the last live stream, most will attest to the notion of white supremacy, right? AKA white men conquering and establishing a fundamental system of control that has been created to ensure that black men specifically cannot grow economically, right? This is the reason why, in their words, black males, they say, I'm sorry. This is the reason why the black community is last in America, right? Because of white supremacy. Now, racial bias, once again, is often misconstrued as white supremacy. But if you were raised around white people your entire life, then there's going to be a natural racial bias that you have for white people, particularly if you're white. This is just the way it goes. This is the same for black people. We've all heard our aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever say, oh, no, there's too many white people there. Oh, there's too many black people there. We've all done it. We've all said it before. This is just a fact, okay? It's got to be real here, okay? It's not to say that we can't commingle and enjoy each other's company or the desegregation, whatever it might be. That's fine. I'm just saying that there is a very clear and concise understanding that when you're the only one that looks like you in the room, depending on your amount of self-confidence, so that's just a fact. I just want to go in saying that. All right. Just got to clear that up. The same method applies once again to every other race, not just white or black. Now, white supremacy. Let's go ahead and talk about white supremacy now. Real white supremacy. Black men seem to think that white supremacy because there's a difference, racial bias only applies to blacks. All communities have their preferences, and we can even see black men supporting white, Latin, and Asian supremacy when it comes to demeaning their own women. When you hear black men in the pedosphere, black males in the pedosphere, men like Kevin Samuels always praise, oh, well, Becky's coming. Oh, well, you got to deal with Maria. Oh, Maria, whatever it might be. And, oh, well, that's a form of Asian, Latin, white supremacy. You're praising another race being superior to your own, whether it be self-denigration or not. It's a form of exalting another race's superiority, aka their supremacy, right? Now, of course, white supremacy only applies when it's regarding the white man hating on black men. I say men because black women aren't nearly as affected by the idea of white supremacy as black males are. Black males have given themselves completely over to the idea that they can do nothing to combat the supremacy that inhibits them from progressing in life. This is why they are the least educated in comparison to black women and their counterparts and everybody else in America. This is why they're the least earning in comparison to every other race of men. This is why they're the least business owning in comparison to every other race of men. The supremacy has them chained and bound to the stakes in the ground. As you will learn later on the stream, this is not the case. I have a visual and a picture to kind of show you exactly what white supremacy is in the year 2021. This picture was sent to me on Instagram, so shout out to you who sent this picture to me on Instagram. This is white supremacy in 2021. This horse, and for our audio listeners, you won't be able to see this. This horse is tied to a chair. The chair is a plastic chair, one that any human could move with relative ease. More than likely blow if you blow it over, if you blow hard enough, you could blow it over. And this is a massive animal tied to this chair. And it thinks that because it's tied to something, that whatever it's tied to is immovable. So as a result, it's not going to try and pull away because in its mind, that chair that the horse is fastened to, is so sturdy and so rigid and so bolted into the ground that it doesn't stand a chance. So instead of actually trying, it would rather sit there until the owner or the caretaker of the horse come and untie it. Right? That's what white supremacy is for black males in 2021. This immovable, unshakable idea that I just can't do anything, truth, because of white supremacy, because the white man got me down bad. It's white supremacy. All right. Shout out to you, Mia Malia on air. She said, Dwight, man, is tired of paying for these niggas in their taxes. They'd rather them be self sufficient. Listen, we're going to talk about an idea and a concept that one of our subscribers actually brought up to me, and I'm going to say it later on in the stream at the end of my sermon here. It is absolutely fascinating, and I'm glad you said that. You're going to want to really hear what she had to say. It's powerful, man. It is powerful. They are tired of it. But we're going to explore what might happen if they really got tired of it. I'll just give you a hint there. Let's continue on here. I don't want to take too much time and let y'all on. But now, black males, let's just say you're right. Let's just say that the whites are supreming over you. My question is, why are you so upset with movements like divestment when you yourself acknowledge that you lack the ability to build your communities up because of white men? You literally blame the white man for the state of the black community, yet still in the same breath expect women to follow you into a system of oppression that you admit that you can't get out of. This reminds me of when black women choose black men who make an average to below average earnings, bear child with them, then are reprimanded and told that they should have chose better men. What do I mean? Every black male that didn't agree with my message claimed that I was forgetting why they weren't able to fulfill their traditional roles in the year 2021. And that is because another group of men reigns supreme and controls them. So if another group of men reigns supreme and controls you, by your admission, wouldn't that mean that choosing a better man would align with the statement of divestment that you would want black women to go for and choose better men that you are not the genealogical or phenotypical makeup of? Maybe I said that too quickly. I'm going to read this whole paragraph again. Let's say that the white man is truly supreming over you. My question is, why are you so upset at movements like divestment when in the same breath you tell women, black women, that they need to choose better men? If another man, by your self-admittance, is supremacing over you, then that's the man that she should be choosing. I feel like I say things and they make so much sense. And then they'll be like, you could that be racist though? And then they make them bad wenches. But you focus, Kevin Scammers focuses, every Black Patosphere content creator focuses. Well, Kevin Scammers tells you to get the average man. And then as soon as you get the average man, all of his minions say, oh, you should have chose a better man. Every single Black Patosphere content creator, oh, well, you should be choosing better man. It's the black woman's fault. They need to choose better man. And then they admit that white supremacy makes them the lesser man. Literally saying you should choose anybody else but me. Now I'm gonna keep going here, and then we'll go. And forgive me all if I'm missing comments. Oh, I see I missed a super chat. 1 second, let me read the super chat. Another $5 super chat from Mia Malia on air says the white man. Oh wait, I already read that one. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Gentrification is the best thing that ever happened to the hood. The Asians weren't giving them jobs. Yeah. Gentrification. Well, we'll talk about that sometime. All right. So let me kind of get back to what I was saying here. So if another group of men reign supreme, by your admission, that would mean that choosing a better man would be choosing majority of the black men that are currently being chose, not choosing them. If you want black women to choose better men, and majority of you admit that you're under the control, the dominance, the supremacy of another race of men, then she wouldn't be choosing you. $20 super sticker or super chat from Self Love Heals. Thank you, Self Love Heals. I appreciate you, my dear. Self Love Heals with a $20 super chat. It's cognitive dissonance. It's a nation divided. Choose better men. Okay, they choose the better men. Now they're bed wenches. How does that work? How can you get upset at divesting women when you admit that white men destroy you in every category of socio-capitalistic America? How can you get upset at our women for preaching about needing to date or choosing to date out Asian, Latino, white men when that is exactly what you're telling them to do, which is to date better men? Instead of becoming the better man, you should be dating better men. Now they're talking about dating better men and you have a problem with it. Can't win. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They're doing exactly what you want them to do. They're choosing better men. Now, I don't want to discredit the black men who are really focusing on building every aspect of their life, for improving their lives. I tip my hat to those black men. I don't, nor will I ever discredit the black man who doesn't victimize themselves and fight to improve their outcomes. Once again, I tip my hat to those men that don't follow the teachings of the black pedosphere. I salute my hat to those men to refuse to align themselves with the buck broken message that most of them teach. $20 super chat again from Self Love Heal says they write their own stories, and then when you read the story they wrote, they say that you're lying. Right. $20 super chat again. Thank you so much, Self Love Heals, for all the support. What I find interesting is this. Now get this. Oh, this is gonna get good, ladies and gentlemen. Get this. This is what I find interesting about the black pedosphere. They would rather teach the next generation of black boys how to be the exact same victims that they are. If you notice, when you came onto my stream, every black male that had something to say against what I was saying, that didn't agree with what I was saying, that might have actually said, oh, well, you know what, True? Most of the time, I actually agree with a lot of what you say, but I can't, I can't, I don't believe you when you say that the white man doesn't have supremacy. Once again, I try and stick up for Negroids, and then they attack me for sticking up for Negroids. They call me a coon for not believing that white supremacy exists, for not admitting, oh, you don't think white supremacy exists? True? Hey, Leroy, come over here. This nigga don't think that the white man's better than us. I can't. You can't win. You can't win with Negroids. You cannot win. Nigga, you don't believe in white supremacy, nigga? You would think that niggas really love white supremacy. This nigga don't believe in white supremacy, cuz. Jesus Christ almighty. Get that nigga out of here. You don't believe in white supremacy. Hell nah. You see what I mean? This is the mindset of most Negroids. That's why I say this, I just can't. The more I think about it, the more sense I feel like I make. And then these Negroids are so crazy. I'm like, damn, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's me. Damn, nigga, you don't believe in white supremacy, nigga? What you talking about, nigga? Ooh, okay. They would rather tell the boys and the girls that the evil white man is out to get you. There's nothing that you can do about it. The buck-broken mindset of the black pedosphere. A mindset that lacks the ability to render one's own life, dreams, and desires into reality simply because they live in an area of said white supremacy. Now, like always, I try and find the solution. All right, white supremacy. Okay, the white man, I get it. He's out to kill you all. The white man, I get it. Okay. You want to cry for the rest of your lives? I understand. But every so often, every once in a while, I feel the inkling to give them a bit of encouragement and enlightenment. Like I tried to do before. Or judge, rather, whether or not they're able to conceptualize the notion of changing their outcome. So you feel like the white man has hit his boot on your neck. How can you solve this? Well, I decided to give Negroids a few options. I'm going to help you out today, right? I'm going to try and enlighten you on how you can help yourself fulfill the traditional roles of black masculinity from black degeneracy. I'm going to help you escape the boot of the white man. Option number 1, you could move. That's right. For all my black pedospheric, manospheric, weird, Negroid-minded victims, there's an entire continent that is made up of people that look very similar to you. Now, I know they came on last week arguing, well, not all groups in Africa be the same, though, because the Ethiopians and the Eritreans, ever since 23 BC, they had built the ship, and so yeah, all right. But believe it or not, there's still a country, a continent, the largest landmass, as a matter of fact, with people who have the same skin tone, skin color, phenotypical similarities that you do. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Africa is waiting for you. As a matter of fact, we even call it the motherland or the homeland. Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh my God. Y'all seen that meme of the African dude that says, oh my God? We'll have him on a little transition coming up soon. Oh my God. Imagine that. You could rid yourself of all the white man's evils with a simple pack of the bags acquisition of a passport, which 30 to 40% of you felony convicted Negroes won't be able to do. So I hate to break it to you. And you can rid yourself, Lord have mercy, thank you, Jesus, of the white man's evil. Buying a plane ticket, boom, problem solved. But yet you continue to subject yourself to a life which, in your words, is non-ending racial and social injustices, and you subject yourself to it voluntarily. You can't win. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Oh my God. You mean I could escape white supremacy and go to a land with people that look like me? Yeah. Now why don't they do it? Oh, now there's the good question right there. I'm glad you asked. Why do they choose to still live in the supremacy reigning, white man reigning America? Why do they choose not to go back to their homeland and build up their own lands just like the white man did for his own lands in America? Now, hold on a second now. Hold on a second, True. Now don't be True. Don't see what happened was when we go to Africa as American black males, they be not respecting and submitting to the authority that have an entire continent ready for you to just build up the infrastructure of, waiting for you. It doesn't have many white people. How many Negroes are going to move to Africa right now? How many black pedospheric males are going to move to Africa right now to escape the death grips of white supremacy in America? Yeah, niggas don't want nothing, man. Linlin with the $10 super chat says, but black men who get resources then marry white women, thereby giving those precious resources back to the community they say oppresses them. Why they're not angered by this, right? Inquiring minds are curious. It's only white supremacy when you're talking about white men. But the white women, though, see, they all right. Because they understand that we was kings. So, Lyndon, I'm sorry, IK with a $10 super chat says it all boils down to a lack of accountability. There will always be an excuse. Exactly. Always. You can't win. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. IK, another $20 super chat. I thought it was from Black Women Luxury. Says, hey, Truth. Hey, thank you so much. I love that picture. I love the black and the dark skin Powerpuff Girls pictures. They're so freaking cute to me. The older I get, I don't know. I know I'm getting older now because the older I get, the more adorable women are to me. Women are just so adorable to me. I was on Twitch watching a streamer the other night, and she's I don't know how old she is, probably in her lower 20s, and she had just this little adorable icon. She was playing this cute little game, and I said, women are truly adorable. I know I'm getting a little older now because I never used to think that about women. I said, women are just cute, man. They're just adorable. I love that. I love that. So let's go ahead and continue here. All right. Your problems could be solved with a simple plane ticket. But yet you continue to subject yourself to a life of torture. Now, if I felt that the white man really had his Doc Marten boots on my neck, I would leave. But the reality is, you and I both know that the lands that were made by your fellow ancestral countrymen are a far cry to the luxuries that you have access to in America. Having said that, I'm not going to lie. I have seen some areas in Africa which are stunningly beautiful. Actually, there's a lot of development in Africa. Not all of it was made by Africans. A lot of it was made by other dollars coming in and pouring into it. But I'm not going to make it seem like Africa is just this completely war-torn continent. It's not. There are some beautiful parts in Africa, all right? Some very beautiful parts. However, it is a bit of a difference in transition in life, all right? There's a lot of differences there, okay? Got to make that very clear. Just got to say that. So you cry conquer tears to the white man in hopes that he has mercy on you and gives you your 40 acres and a mule. This last live stream, niggas are talking about, oh, well, if we get reparations, all will be okay. How much in reparations do you think that the government is able to give? I think what are you really going to do with $2,000 to $5,000? Most of y'all have gotten semi reparations in the PPP loan already, and that doesn't really do much. Now I know we couldn't go to work and everything like that, but really, what is $2,000 to $5,000 going to do to change the entire trajectory of your life? The government can't give everybody $10,000, all black people $10,000 or $50,000. They just can't do that, right? If reparations were able to actually happen or come, it'd come in like the form of land or some sort of, I don't know, maybe ability to build businesses for a discounted tax rate or something like that. But Negroids aren't going to be able to really fulfill and take advantage of that. We already know that. Hell, niggas end up getting PPP loans, and 70, probably 80%, probably 90% of them are getting ready to go to jail right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. People are getting ready to go to jail for PPP loans. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you a hilarious video later. Oh, Lord. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you this video right now. I tell you what. You want to see what you want to see what will happen if Negroids get reparations? Let me show you. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. This is this is going to be hilarious. I'm not reading the comments right now, y'all, so just give me 1 second. If you are commenting in super chatting, I appreciate you. I watched a video yesterday of a black man who got, I think he got like a $50,000 PPP loan. He got something stupid, man, like $50,000. It's already all spent, and he just got summoned to court, and he's getting ready to go to jail for like 10 years. So he's making a video. He's like, man, I'm getting ready to go to jail. They got me and yada, 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 yada. I'm like, well, what did you do with the 50,000? You could even hire a lawyer. In the video, he's explaining, well, I got a public defender, so it's not looking so good for me. I said, you got $50K and you couldn't even afford a lawyer? What did he do? He went and bought a brand new house. Let me show you this. Oh, Lord. Let me show you this video. I can't. I just can't do it. Give me a second, y'all. I saw this on and if you're watching on audio, just know that what I'm getting ready to play to you is a YouTuber essentially that's going to be explaining why he's getting ready to go back to prison. All right. And I hope that in this video, it actually shows the house that he bought. We're going to see. I think it does. This is what will happen if Negroids get reparations right here. We need reparations. Y'all niggas wouldn't know what to do with the money anyways. The name of the video is I Could Be Going Back to Prison. Back to prison. So he's already been. Here we go.
Be channel, man. And yo, I ain't even gonna lie, man. I'm in my body, man.
I'm in my body.
I got a letter from the government, man, the other day. Saturday, in fact. So if y'all didn't see me on social media Sunday, it was kind of like because I was down. But it's all good, though. You know what I'm saying? But Saturday, I got to keep it real with y'all. Through my focus is from the IRS. It's from the IRS. And
now he's not gonna say anything. He's not gonna show the house. But check this out. He started building a new house. He couldn't even finish the construction for the new house because he didn't have enough money to finish the construction for it. So the house is paused. He gets a letter from the IRS, and now he can't even afford an actual attorney. So he's getting ready to go back to prison and leave his family. Instead of getting $50,000, flipping it, making a small business, investing in some sort of Bitcoin mining coin, because you can't really make too much money unless you have a good amount of money to invest or to flip the next day. Instead of doing some kind of quick flip, actually building a business LLC and something really quickly, getting some kind of paid employee on the book. So when the IRS does audit you, you have something that you formulated. Instead of doing something, he's getting ready to go back to jail and he can't even hire a lawyer or afford a lawyer. And the house that he just spent all the money on is going to be seized. All we need is reparations. If we get the reparations, we're going to be okay. Back to my monologue here. You cry to conquer tears to the white man. in hopes that he has mercy on you to give you 40 acres and a mule so that you can finally have an equal opportunity in America. But you fail to understand that no matter how many acres of land they give you, the inherent problem will remain. You see, there's a reason why every other race can do better when they come to America. That's one word: community. Your community, the community looks after itself. As a matter of fact, every other community has solved what the black man has yet to solve in his own community, and that is each community gives the members of said community preference before they lend their resources to outsiders. This is how you build your community. This is why when I talked about racial bias, I wanted to make the clear distinction between racial bias and white supremacy, because the best and the truest way that you can build up your community and the people around you is if you decide to give back, to build into your community first, to keep that dollar circulating in your community first, and then as a direct result you can impact other communities around you. It starts on home field first, though. And so if you're black, most likely everybody around you is going to be black as well, because you're going to be part of the black community. And most black people, I hate to say it, don't have the resources needed to live inside of a white community. A lot do, a lot don't. So this is why I make a clear distinction between white supremacy and racial bias, because white people are looking out for their own community. That's what they've always done. But somehow Negroids have it confused that because white man has looked after white man and they haven't looked at after their own people, that, oh, it's just white supremacy. No, it's not white supremacy. That's called the white community. Niggas. White man always be a mule. We built America. No, you didn't build America. You were enslaved to build. You might have helped, but you didn't build America. If you were these builders that you claim to be, you would have built your own community, which is the worst in America right now. But you didn't. Thank you for the Cash App donation, whoever just sent that. This is how people can come to America from outside countries and do better than black men who were born inside of America, because they have community that looks after them. This is how people can come from Asia, from Mexico, and in 10 years have houses, cars, businesses, and higher net worth than the black men who are lucky enough to be born in the very country that they nearly died to get into. This is how they can come over with not a single legal paper and still own more businesses than the people who have every single legal paper and right to be in America. Oh, but you don't think you niggas act like America hasn't been trying to build a wall between Mexico. You want to hear about true supremacy? White men are more white supremacists towards Mexicans than they are black people. They are trying to build a wall between Mexico. Mexicans get over here, build their communities up, build their money up, send money back home, get everything in America, take their money back home, and they rebuild their communities back home. You see how that works? They do everything for their own. I don't hear anything about Mexican supremacy or Asian supremacy. Always the white man. Oh, the white man. Niggas. Self-love feels with another $5 super chat. Dusty Dogma, she says, ain't nobody scared of prison. Prison's a paradise for these Dusties. Absolutely, it's so true. Ain't nobody scared of prison. Nigga, in the video, he's like, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and do my time, man, because shoot, I gotta take it on the chin. If that means that my son can eat, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If that means my son can eat. I've seen so many videos. Y'all think I'm joking. If I just type in PPP loan jail, I'm gonna see what pops up. Look at this. I can't make this up. If you're listening on audio, just know that right now I'm typing in PPP loan jail on YouTube. Every single video that pops up is of Negroids. I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh my goodness gracious.
What's up with the YouTube? $30,000. And I'm trying to just keep everything boxed in my head on what I want to speak on. So the reason I got the 330,000 was
300.
I was greedy.
Wait a second. This nigga got $330,000. Let me just keep playing this because
people saying that I'm not thinking about my child, which was one of the main reasons I did this. So they can shut up. But
all right, you can listen to the rest of it if you want. He's gonna go to jail. I'm sure he probably can't afford a lawyer either. I don't know who knows what he bought it on. It looks like he's still in an apartment. And hey, no hate in apartment. I'm in an apartment as well. But if I got $330,000 PPP loan, I'd handle it a lot differently. We're getting back with a $50 super chat. Says at Dolce Vita in the chat pointed out that there are many black men's channels. Black women get called straggle daggles, bees, hoes, German shepherds, etc. But on this channel, we get called adorable. Oh, thank you, hon. It's not a problem. Yeah, that's just something I've noticed, man. Particularly last night. I don't know why. I was like, they are so adorable. It's just funny, man. That's something getting old, Jonathan. $5 super chat from SH is just showing some love. Thank you, SH. Let's see. Mia with another $5 super chat says, why does the white man oppress the Africans? They have stronger accents and features than us. If they were so racist, they'd hate them more, right? Yeah. Well, most of the Africans come to America and they become doctors or lawyers or something else prominent. Yeah, they're not being oppressed too badly. As a matter of fact, one of our comment of the dayers is, I don't think she's African, to be honest with you. She might be. I don't think she is, though. I can't remember her last name. So maybe I'm stretching it there. But she is a black female. And she gives a statistic to how many black females are doctors in comparison to black males. Bear in mind, this is factual and this is actual statistic. I don't like to give the stats too much, but she is a doctor. You're going to hear that later in our comment of the day. But of course, the white males only holding back the black males, right? When it comes to white supremacy. Let me go back to this really quickly. Let me go back to this. It gets crazier, ladies and gentlemen. It gets crazier. You don't want to move to Africa to escape white supremacy. You complain about being here in America. You act as if the white man didn't try to build a wall between Mexico. Now, you know why Mexicans can come and succeed? Because of the hardest working people in the world. That's why they can come and succeed in America. You want to know why I brought up the hardest working people in the world? I found a video. The name of this video is by Killa K TV, and the name of the video is How Black People Be on Their First Day of the Job. Now, this is obviously going to be more in reference to men, and I can tell you this is exactly how black men are on the first day of the job because I used to be working construction right alongside them.
Hey, big dog, come here. This is my first day here. Yeah, I'm new. We're going to be working on all these mobile homes today. What shift you on? You on 8-hour shift or you on 12-hour shift? The question, look, when you put in PTO, how long do it take them to approve? They approve all the days? Okay, not too. Okay, that ain't bad. Question, look, what time we take lunch?
Already waiting on lunch.
Do we get an hour or do we get 30 minutes? 30 minutes. Damn, that ain't enough time. When we take time off, already asked somebody else.
Now, every other race knows this. And the reason why this is funny, and I know we can laugh at it and things of that nature, but the reason why it's funny to begin with is because it's truthful. Okay? Because this is the truth. So we can laugh at the ignorance a lot of the times because we know it's true. Okay? That's the sad part about this. How black people be on their first day of the job. I've experienced that 1,000%. Now, I'm going to show you another video really quickly. This video has to do with them looking after each other. Some of y'all have already seen this video. I'm just going to play a few seconds of it. What happened was there was some of y'all have seen this once again in the past. There was a couple that got fired from this warehouse job. And as a result of this couple getting fired from the warehouse job, every single, and it was predominantly Mexican people that worked in there, left the warehouse. I'm talking about hundreds of people. You know why? Because the community is who they look after first. So when white supremacy truly does, quote unquote, exist, when one of their own get done dirty by these white supremacists or whatever you want to call them or whatever it might be, I don't care what the story is. I don't care if they're racist or if they're not racist. The Mexican community doesn't care. So let me show you this video. If you're watching on audio, you'll be able to tell what's going on by the black man who is literally elated because he sees in another community what will never happen within the black community.
Get about this motherfucker. Y'all got him fucked up. Look at him. They sent a couple of them home. They all packed their shit up and shut this motherfucker down. Nigga, who y'all think y'all playing with? Mexico, man, this is what black people need to be on, man. I swear to God, I love
black people
shit.
will never be on this.
They are packing their shit up and shutting this motherfucker, huh? On my mama, all that shit. Ain't no grinding, cutting, welding. Listen, motherfucker, dead ass quiet. The Mexicans shut this motherfucker down. Nigga said, fuck you, bitch. And really, see, this is what I'm talking about, baby. I swear to God, they got me here geeked up. Oh, my.
That'll never happen in the black community because black males lack unification and vision mindset. They lack the solidarity to actually unite as a community. They're too busy calling me and Uncle Tom for telling them to get their together, for telling them to link up like-minded with positivity, to progress the community, to build businesses together like the Mexican man does, like the Asian man does, like the white man does. If this were to happen to black people or black males in this warehouse, it'd be like, oh man, I'm sorry, my nigga, that's tough, but shit, I gotta go ahead and work this, bro, because I gotta go ahead and pay this car bill, whatever. No, this would never happen to Negroids. The Negroids, man, good luck, bro. I hope everything works out for you. Every single Mexican walked out of that place because they stand in solidarity. That's something that you Negroids will never be able to do. And that's why we're dead last in the community. You can call me a coon. You can call me whatever you want to. Fact of the matter remains. That's how you beat white supremacy. This figment of white supremacy, which you claim exists, even if it really does exist, that's how you beat it. You build your own community first. You reign supreme in your own community. You don't disparage women for building businesses, for getting doctorates, masters. You don't disparage anything that's actually positive because that lends itself over to white supremacy, black degeneracy. Oh, we don't care. We don't care. Black women, we don't care about your degree. We don't care about your school. They don't matter to us. We don't care about your business, your business. Remember the average at best girl who owns a dog grooming business? And Kevin Scamble said, you own a dog grooming business. What's that going to do? What do you mean, what's that going to do? That's going to add dollar circulation and value to the black communities. If you were to have house property values and there are businesses that actually have foot traffic that increase positive revenue within a certain demographic or area, that drives the property value up. What do you mean? What does that mean? Ridiculous. That's the mindset of Negroids. Yeah, you right, Kevin. She ain't even doing nothing. Niggas. Option number 2. I want to thank you for joining us tonight on this hot Saturday evening. So good to be with you. And for all the people watching, if you're watching on TV, huge shout out to you. If you're in your car right now, huge shout out to you. I want to thank you for joining. 300 people watching. We broke the 300 barrier mark. 300 people watching. Make sure we like. You can dislike if you want. Either way, it helps my algorithm because I know that you're watching. I was just pinged or notified that there was somebody that made a video on me. It's pretty entertaining. You can check it out. It's called The Honest Fraud. It's a black man that starts off the video by saying, man, I agree with a lot of what you says, but that nigga be saying sometimes he be it's an entertaining video. I think it's 2 hours long. So thank you all for who pinged me out to it. That was Self-Love Heals. Thank you so much for that, Self-Love Heals. And oh, forgive me, I just kind of doxed you, Self-Love Heals. Option number 2, to escape white supremacy. You can accept that white supremacy does not nearly have the amount of influence, I didn't say that right, over your life than you think it does. And here's what kills me. This is what destroys me. I yet again try and stick up for you niggas. I sit on this stream and explain that you have every possible way to become rich in America. You have millions of options and you should stop being the victim. And majority of Negroids' response to me is to call me a coon. Now get this. I'm a coon because I don't let myself become a victim to the imaginary world of white supremacy. I'm a coon because I don't believe that every white person is out to get me. I'm a coon because I tell the truth. I'm a coon because black men would rather continue to fail in their life rather than accept reality. I essentially stick up for black men by saying that white supremacy doesn't affect my life and doesn't exist in most of you Negroids' day-to-day activities, and you Negroids are upset. And Negroids are upset because I don't want to lay down and give up my life like them. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand one thing loud and clear. The reason why I do not, nor will I ever acknowledge white supremacy, is because that is a scapegoat for black males to continue to fail. If you are upset at me for echoing these statements, then you are further enabling the problematic black male mindset that dominates the black community. I don't care if every single white person in the world was as racist as Jim Crow. I still wouldn't acknowledge white supremacy. Because as long as I live and breathe, I see myself equal to every single race of man. As long as you continue to tell yourself that another group of people is supreme to you, is dominant to you, conquers you, can't teach these niggas nothing, man. As long as you continue to put into your mindset and tell yourself that you're less than another race, as long as you continue to program and operate within the limits of a certain construct, you will always be exactly what you claim to be, less than, dominated, and conquered. That's why I say that you Negroids are conquered. Because when I try and say that I'm not conquered, you keep telling me, no, we are conquered, Jonathan. We are conquered, truth. The white man is out to get me. White supremacy exists. You don't believe in white supremacy? Oh, I can't listen to you now, True. You don't believe in white supremacy. You don't think that the white man's better than you. That's why I say you can't win with niggas, man. You can't win. Something wrong with niggas. Something wrong with niggas. I don't care how you feel, what you think about my stance. I only care about the end goal. Stop giving black males an excuse to fail. It's not about whether or not white supremacy exists. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. I don't care if it exists or not. I'm going to succeed. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if it exists or not. I'm going to figure out a way. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to kowtow. It doesn't matter to me. There's something that we can do. Oh, well, the white man be supreme over me, so I just got to, I guess nothing I can do really, because the white man, he's going to make sure that, he's going, that's why we say that you're conquered. That's what conquered is. You have no more spirit left. And when somebody tries to give you some spirit, you say, oh, no, man, I can't get with that because last time I saw a white man, he made sure to let me know, white man. Let's take this a step further. If white supremacy is really as bad as you claim it is, the only solution would be to do what every other race does. Unite, build your businesses, build the communities, and provide a safe haven that you and your people can turn to escape such persecution. I have a serious question. Maybe somebody else can help me understand this. On the last live stream, a black male asked me if I believe in white supremacy. I said no. He damn near once again lost his potato salad. When we tell black men that they are conquered and that they need to do better, they become infuriated in anguish and lash out with hateful remarks, calling us coons, like I said earlier, bedwenches and all sorts. But the second I say white supremacy exists, they come out of the woodworks and put themselves into the same victimization that aforementioned they claim didn't exist or doesn't apply to them. I say the black men are conquered. Ah, truth, you just mean truth, you be a pawn of the white people, true. We ain't conquered. We was kings, and when we was kings, when we was kings. Okay, cool. Oh, all right. My bad. Okay. White supremacy doesn't exist. Not true. That's not true. We conquered. White supremacy is real. We was kings, but we not kings no more because we are conquered. And when we got conquered, the ancient pharaohs. Okay, so you're upset when I say that you're conquered, and you're upset when I say that you're not conquered. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The white man's supremacy has formulated this country. Following the same idea, let's go ahead and take this to our comment of the day. It's been an hour. The ancient pharaohs. Ay. There go Truth again. Just be lying on this black man. He be lying though. He be just trying to pander. He just pandering though. He didn't be telling the truth. He know that we not conquered, but the white man is conquering us though, because the white supremacy exists, but it's not like that though. Shoot, it's not like that though. Shoot. Let's go to our comment of the day really quickly here. This comment was brought to us by Dr. Katrina King. I don't believe she's African, so forgive me, Dr. Katrina. Dr. Katrina King. Doctorate. When some of you Negroes in the street get shot, this is who you're going to see. She says, sadly, black women with doctorates outnumber black males 5-1. Oh, white supremacy doesn't exist to the black females who are doctors. What's worse, women only have just begun to outnumber males in degree attainment for other races / ethnicities. You're absolutely right about the black community's perspective on women who choose to advance themselves. We're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't. Very sad for our people when we don't value those who choose to do better themselves, not just to choose to do better themselves. And thank you so much, Dr. Katrina, for that comment. I appreciate that. Not just for those that choose to do better for themselves, but those that do better for the entire social perception of said community. When other races see black doctors, black businessmen, black business owners, black moguls, when other races see black people in what isn't the stereotypical image or light of said black community, that enlightens and enriches and raises the social value of all black people. But leave it to Negroids. Leave it to Negroids to bring down the very best of us. This is something that was said by one of our subscribers. She wants to remain anonymous, and I thought this was so interesting. I thought this was fascinating, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I want you to listen to this. This is incredible. I didn't think of these words. I'm going to expand on them, but I didn't think of these words. Now, she doesn't want me to say who it is, and she wants to be in the chat and said that this is her words, and she can do that. She said this: what if the white man got sick and tired of being blamed? Ooh, this is deep right here. Jesus, this is deep. What if the white man decided to take his white dollars back, the place where you live, your clothing, your job, your car, because you didn't build any of that? Your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, your food. What would you do and where in the hell would you go? This thought alone should be enough to provoke one to do better for themselves in life. I think that's something we don't talk enough about. We black men, Negroids act as if they're not 6% or 7% of the population. Negroids talk about white people as if they are not the overwhelming majority of America. 67%, I believe. If the white men really wanted to walk in some severe supremacy, they would get the military that they own, the best nuclear missile fighter jet laser technology in the world, militaristic advanced technology in the world, and fry you niggas to a crisp. You want to see some real supremacy? They will come rack you up, put you on a plane to Africa, and kick you the hell out of the country that they made. If we're being completely honest here, that's what real white supremacy would do. Y'all, you see, you don't understand. Black men are poking the stick at a giant grizzly bear, and you do not have the resources ready to accurately defend yourself if that grizzly bear decides to snap. Now, fortunately, thank God, we have advanced far enough in civilization to where we have a certain moral code that we have to abide by and that people feel the need to live and abide by. But hypothetically speaking, if they just decided to say, you know what, I'm about damn tired of Tyrone. You know what, Margaret, I'm about damn tired of this damn, you know what? Let's go ahead and just get them the hell up out of here. They could do it easily. Easily. I really appreciated that when I heard it. This isn't to scare you. It's just to get you to understand the tomfoolery of the black male. Let me read the super chat I just got right here. Self of Hills with another $20 super chat. That's the honest truth. I think you're going to buy. You can't take away a white supremacy card. That's the Dusty Trump card. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Self-love heals once again. Queen says, "Oh my goodness." Yeah, they haven't really experienced white supremacy. They're living through the veins of our ancestors. You guys have no idea what white supremacy is. I'm going to go ahead and open up the panel. We have 318 people watching. Miss Leora says, "I'm getting sick of supporting black men because they don't even support each other." Right. Yes, I will drop the links right now, Miss Lisa. I'll drop the links right now. Let's go ahead and open up the panel. You are welcome to hop onto the panel if you would like to. Huge shout out to everybody who's been donating and super chatting. I appreciate y'all so much. Join the panel. There's the link. I'll post this and stick this to the YouTube channel. Let's see here. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. I can't multitask. Y'all know I can't talk and type. Still haven't gotten that down yet. Next live stream, we'll have the new camera up. I promise you this time. I promise you. We'll have everything we need for the new camera, the new setup. I'm excited. Thank you so much for all your donations and support. I am excited. I see your comments. I see your comments. Yeah, I've gotten a couple comments from and like I said, this is why I want to make the stream, because I see that there were some ladies that had a certain way that they felt about me not acknowledging white supremacy, right? Not deciding to acknowledge white supremacy. And so I just can't in good faith go forward without addressing that. And so in the next live streams, we'll get back to our usual degeneracy, but I can't in good faith not explain why I decided not to. Hello, Queen Mercy. Hello, Lisa Marie. Acknowledge white supremacy. So we're gonna go with Queen Mercy first. Thank you so much, Queen Mercy. Queen Mercy, the floor is yours. After you, it'll be Lisa Marie Thomas. Go ahead, Queen. Oh, sorry, I muted you. I'm sorry. Oh, go start over. My bad.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. Thank you, dear.
Okay, great. Okay, I wanted to just say a quick announcement. I wanted to say, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life, right? As you all know, we're growing and need to touch on some housekeeping. We're gathered in this space. For some of us, our views may be different from one another. Our religious beliefs, our political affiliations, our way of life may be different from one another. We must remember to give common courtesy and respect to one another. This must be a safe place for everyone. Our community must be a place where it's okay to disagree, where it's okay to agree to disagree without tearing a person down. It takes a lot of courage to come on this panel. Please remember that these are real people. I'm going to tell a short story and leave you with a word. Once upon a time, there was a Western anthropologist that went to Africa to study social behaviors of an indigenous tribe. He proposed a game to the children. He put a basket of fruit under a tree and told the children, whoever gets there first can have all the fruit. He told the children to step back. Then all the kids held each other's hand and ran towards the tree, and each of them got a fruit one by one. The anthropologist stood back and said, "Why did you wait for each other?" And the children replied, "Ubuntu. How could one of us be happy if the other one is sad?" In short, Ubuntu means I am because we all are, humanity basically. We have to be cautious of passing on that cycle of hatred. If not, we will become what we despise. Regardless of your view, you are welcome here. THT is our host with the mostest. If you join the panel, please be prepared to give your commentary and view. Anticipate being interrupted. It does happen. And or to be asked to wrap up your commentary. Please note, if you are disrespectful and out of pocket, you will be muted. In this chat, we will turn up the heat and then go crazy on you. Please remember that we can be different, but we all need Ubuntu. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Queen Mercy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and move forward. Lisa Marie Thomas, the floor is yours. Lisa Marie, go ahead.
Thank you. Queen Mercy said, the interruption. I don't have a problem. What I do is just that I say I lost my thought. I'm that type of person who lost my thought when interrupted. But yeah, I was going to say, white supremacy, we have different, opinions about it. I love you, True, but I do know that there is, some biasness towards black people, but it's just the way you react to it is the circumstance, you know?
Right.
Women know there is a system that black women, we know that it's a patriarchy, and how women will get, seen just as props and don't get respect. And however, we still turn that around and we still progress. We're black and we're women. That's twice the oppression, but we made it out still. And we're on the top group of educated people. But however, that is our reaction to it. But black men reaction is complaining, saying everyone is against them. And that's weak because no one wanna be with a pissy person. I'm just gonna say that. And besides the whole system thing, I was gonna say there's a sense of narcissism going on.
Mm,
Narcissists usually don't want to be corrected. They don't see a problem with their pathologies. They have to be always someone's fault. Oh, single
mm,
mother did this, black women wigs did this, oh, black women breathing did this, black women tying their shoes did this, black women running did this. It's always someone's fault. Oh, white men hair color did this. It's someone's fault. It's not their fault. They never take accountability because they are narcissists. They think that everything is right. They want black women to follow their behaviors. And as
right.
soon as you say no, it's you're masculine, you're bitter, you're aggressive, angry black woman. It's sick. And they want to abuse, like they're abusive too because they always tell black women no one wants you. We're the only one that wants you. No other group wants you. They want to control black women, keep us in lock with them.
It's very true. Absolutely. Very true, Lisa. And I really appreciate that. And I completely agree. Completely agree. And I'm glad that you brought the narcissist aspect as well, narcissistic aspect as well. A black woman's sisterhood, and I didn't get to read this $10 super chat says the truth. The crazy thing is, black men don't realize that if the white men were half as racist as black men say they are, most black men wouldn't be freely alive today. Absolutely. They damn sure wouldn't have the privilege to say that they hate white men. Right. They know not what they stir. It's very true. Someone else's fault always, Jan's child says. You got some support, Lisa. Destiny Maxie says facts. Queen says burn, divest, burn the cape. We're going to go ahead and move forward. Stephen Hogg says well said. Mia, actually, who was next? I forget. I think the woman that doesn't belong to you was next, but it might have been Linlin. We're going to go with Linlin. Then we'll go with the woman that doesn't belong to you. Then we'll go with Mia and then Tia. We have Mia and Tia. Linlin, go ahead. The floor is yours, my dear.
Hi, Truth. Good evening. So I just have a quick comment. When I think about this whole thing with white supremacy and its existence, I remember asking you about this on another live stream, what your thoughts about it were. And I believe I asked you if you thought acknowledging white supremacy meant that you were playing a victim. And I remember your response to it was very similar to the topic of this stream. And I totally understand, where you're coming from with that response as far as um, I don't think that you're, and definitely correct me if I'm wrong as far as like your viewpoint or how I understand how you see it, but um, I think where you're coming from with this is that we're not denying that like racism exists, but we're saying that you can still prosper in spite of it. And the thing is that a lot of Black men use it as a crutch to lean on for the lack of like even being motivated to progress, because why is it that there are mostly Black women that are pursuing higher education, whereas the men have just resigned themselves to this whole idea that it's a white man holding them back? When I think about white supremacy, I think of if there truly was like white supremacy to the extent that people like to use it as an excuse, Oprah Winfrey would never exist. She would never be given the opportunity. Robert Smith, the man who went back to Morehouse and literally paid off the debts of, tens of thousands of young Black male graduates and literally gave them financial freedom. Um, he's a billionaire. He wouldn't exist. Um, there's so many other like examples. Granted, there are a ton, but like even on take it down from like the billionaire level to like just like people who are able to make it in this country and able to sustain themselves on a good income, you know, through education, we're all afforded that opportunity. Like it's not like back in the day where you weren't allowed to go to school. Like we're all afforded the opportunity to pursue higher education. The problem is, you know, a lot of these men are just choosing to not do that. That is one of the proven ways when you go for certain fields, one of the proven ways to advance yourself almost immediately. Like you go into the medical field, you're going to advance yourself. You go into tech, you're going to advance yourself. They are choosing the white people are not holding you back from school. You realize that like we all have the opportunity to education through high school, and we all have the opportunity to apply for scholarships, to apply for, you know, even if you are unfortunate to have to take a student loan, think of it as an investment, based on the degree and the field that you pursue. That income will pay back those loans. Like you're going to advance yourself regardless when you pursue higher education. And that's the thing that these men are not doing. They're thinking they're going to go into being, you know, the next Jay-Z or something, or like the next, you know, big NFL player. The fact of the matter is that's not going to happen for most people. You know, most people are not going to get drafted into the NFL, right? Most of these men are not. Most of these men are not going to become like going to go from drug dealer to, you know, billionaire status like Jay-Z. Like they're not thinking practically, and the most practical solution to advance yourself in this country is through education. It's been proven time and time again. That's why the Asian community is able to advance themselves. And if you're not able to like go through the education pathway, or if you think you're going to be an entrepreneur, then you have to have a very clear path for that. And you have to have very clear metrics for how you are judging your success as an entrepreneur, because that does come with its risk as well. And, you know, a lot of these men, they stay like serial entrepreneurs and never get anywhere. And they think that like one day they're just going to strike it rich with some business, and they just end up wasting time that way. So, you know, if you're not on the path to education, you better have a very clear path. Um, Otherwise, you know, because white people are not holding you back like that. You know, otherwise, no one would be able to make it in this country. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of Black women are pursuing higher education and they're able to make it. So, like,
Very
why are you
true.
not paying attention to that?
It's very true. And, you know, to kind of clear up, and I appreciate that, Lyndon, clear up the first part of it. That's why I wanted to make the really big distinction between white supremacy and racial bias. Everybody has racial bias. Everybody. If I have, this is just the way it goes. This is how we're naturally wired as humans. We recognize and we see what we grow up as, or what we grow up with as the more friendly and desirable figure as far as who we want to interact with, who we choose to spend time with. So this is just how we are. This is basic human evolution and psychology. We're tribal people. And so we stick with our tribe for the most part as we continue to grow. Now, obviously, we commingle and we coexist now because we're just in a country that is literally defined as being a melting pot. But even then, a lot of the times, Black men say that, oh, it's the white supremacy why we can't do this. No, it's not necessarily that. This is just racial preference and racial bias, because the people that own or that built up that particular section of their tribe and community want that to stay in their tribe or community. That's not necessarily supremacy. White supremacy is when you're being hung from a tree. That's how I view white supremacy. That's how I view racism, right? So a lot of people get white supremacy and racism confused with racial bias. That's just kind of how it goes. And even so, kind of going back to, well, I think you agree that white supremacy exists and things of that nature. I personally, I understand, and I think that racial biasness does definitely happen. If I'm a Black man and I apply to a job and there's a white guy that applies to the job and we have the same credentials, chances are, since it's a white business owner, he's probably going to hire the white guy. That's just the way it goes. However, I also flow in the mindset that, well, you know what? Why can't I be the person that has a business for myself that starts to do the hiring? What do I need to do to start looking after and making sure that we have, as a Black community, the ability to have these same decisions made on behalf of our community and for our community? So I don't even see it. I don't have a victim mindset. If that kind of thing happens to me, I think, oh, well, hey, you know, it is what it is. He's white. I don't see it as, oh, man, it's a white supremacy. It's racial bias. That doesn't even cross my mind. I said, hey, you know, it makes sense. He's white. Hey, and that's the end of it. So I don't see it as something that is just like, oh my God, no. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I understand. It is what it is. What can I do to put myself in that better position? But I don't just sit and think and dwell on, oh man, I'm never going to be able to get a job because it's all the white people on the jobs and this and that. It's like, no, we'll keep on filling applications. I'm sure it'll work out in the future. In the meantime, let me try and plan for me to be able to be put in a position where I have to make that decision. I get to make that decision. So that's what I think about it. That's what I think about it right there. It's clear as mud, right? We're gonna go ahead and move on. We'll go ahead and move on there. I think we're gonna go to the woman that doesn't belong to you. And I know that the panel's full, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting the notification that people are trying to join right now. So Kawhi Abril says, open up your own stuff and do the same thing. Exactly. That's all it is. That's why I still don't really get with the white supremacy thing. I just can't accept that or acknowledge that, because as long as we're continuing to focus or put our lives into the care of somebody else that you claim doesn't even care about you, then you'll always continue to lose. So that's my thing right there. We have to be self-sufficient. We have to be self-sufficient. If you think that white supremacy, whatever it might be, okay, cool. What are you going to do to fix that? So it just doesn't even cross my mind as a problem now. It really doesn't. So we're going to move on. The woman that doesn't belong to you, the floor is yours, dear. We'll try and make it a bit quick if you can. We just have a lot of feedback on your mic, sweetie.
Okay, so all right, I assume you hear me. So I just wanted to say that it's a man's job to uh, provide, but also to hunt and to just make sure that no matter what the trials and tribulations are, he's able to eventually accomplish what he has to accomplish. So for him to blame white supremacy for whatever reason, for not having a job or a good job or whatever the case may be, this is 2021 right now, and people are thriving. I mean, we recently got $10 billion from Goldman Sachs, and I believe we're also women are getting more funding. So that should let these men know that that rhetoric doesn't exist anymore. You're just not being proactive. You're just not putting yourself out there. You're just not putting yourself into a advantageous position where you can either just be below the means and you can complain, or you can have a different mindset where you can just contract other people, hire other people, have these resources that you may not even have to pay that much for, and then just put yourself in a better position. So
Right.
this is
It's
real.
very true. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Um, we'll have to try, and if you can, the woman doesn't exist to you. We're gonna have to try and get you to call in from another line next time. It seems like it's getting a bit worse for the connection there for you from you. But listen, I appreciate having you on. Just listen to the replay if you can, and you'll kind of hear it for yourself. It's a bassy feedback, but I appreciate you, my dear, and you're absolutely right. I agree with you 1,000%. I'm gonna go ahead and take you down for now, dear, but we'll see you in here in a little bit. I always appreciate talking to you. This is hopefully one of the things that we can kind of get sorted and figured out when we end up going to calls. It should be a little bit easier to have these types of conversations here. We're going to move on. I believe Mia was next. Mia, the floor is yours, Mia. And then we're going to move on to Tia, then Shelly, B. Nelly, and then Jedi Mike after. We'll make sure the ladies go and get their turn. Mia, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to make a comment on oppression versus racism.
Right.
So I think an example of oppression, a good example would be Corey Wise. So he was one of the men featured in the Central Park 5 or 4, or whatever, however many of them there were. He was someone who was like 16, completely innocent, just going with his friend to support him at the jail cell, whatever. And he got like convicted of like years and years and years in prison for a R word that he didn't commit.
Mhm.
That to me is oppression. But I feel like that is the minority of cases. Like, so for example, when I think of my cousins, I have some family members that are really affluent, doing very well, and then others that are not. And they're sitting on their porch right now, smoking weed, complaining about the white man. And there was nothing that happened to them systemically that was completely out of their control that held them back from being successful or, whatever. They weren't framed. The crimes that they were convicted for, they probably did, so that to me is oppression. But if there's no one physically holding you back from getting a better job, from getting an education, from creating a business or something like that, they're not oppressed. Like that, it just is what it is. Now there might be racist people out there,
Mhm.
but I haven't had any trouble with being hired by people in other communities, people who weren't black, and getting well-paying job even without a college degree. I got a license. College wasn't affordable for me, so I studied. I got my license in 6 months, and I was able to m- create my own career pretty much.
Nice.
So I think that there's a lot of people that kind of get that confused for some reason. Just because there's racist white people out there, it doesn't mean that you're oppressed. It just
Right.
means that there are people that are idiots. And I think that a lot of black men, they don't understand when they keep running around crying that they're oppressed, they're oppressed, they're oppressed, and they need white zaddy to save them. That's not attractive. Like, if I have to choose between you and the oppressor, why would I pick you?
That's- I'm saying I literally don't understand the methodology of how that they desire for women to follow them, and then at the same point they tell women to choose better men while acknowledging that they're not the better men. That's it's like, wait a second, huh? What? That's a great point, Mia. Listen, I appreciate you and that word. Thank you for calling in. We'll come back to you here in a bit. King Solo, welcome. We'll let you go after Jedi Mike here. We'll let a few of the other ladies go, and then Jedi Mike, then we'll let you go, man. Good to see you on the panel. Tia, the floor is yours, Tia. Thank you for your patience, my dear. Go ahead.
Um, Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you perfectly. I hear you perfectly. Here, what I need to do is this, Alexander. I'm gonna let some of the other people call in. Alexander literally has not missed a show. Alexander has not missed a show. Listen, Alexander, I love you, bud. All right, I love you, man. We're gonna take you down for now, Alexander, but call in towards the end of the show, Alexander, and we'll make sure to get you on. The panel's full and people are trying to join. I feel bad for taking him down, but Alexander, I know that you know that I got love for you, man. I got love for you, bro. We have to take you down, Alexander. Alexander has been here since the very beginning, and he's called in every single show. I always see Alexander. I appreciate you, man. Go ahead, Mia. I appreciate you.
It's Tia.
I'm sorry, Tia. Forgive me, dear.
That's okay, no problem. So what I want
Meow.
so what I wanted to say was yes, there is a system that has been created to disenfranchise certain groups. We all know that. Um um and but what do we do? Do we lay down? Do we do nothing? No, you get up, you build, you strive, you work hard, you do what it takes, no matter what. Yes, it's there, but we're alive and we're here. And what do you do? So, you know, and instead of doing that, striving, working hard, educating yourself, they're destroying their communities. This country has never, in the history of this country, there's never been more black wealthy millionaires, influencers, and people who are just doing awesome. I mean, not even in Africa. I think I mentioned this on one of your other lives. And so again, the young lady mentioned Oprah, Robert Smith, and then there's Robert Johnson, who used to own BET. He's a billionaire too. You
Right,
and he owned BET 20, 30 years ago. So you cannot tell me that there's no opportunity. So to discuss on that. And I agree with what you read earlier about, yes, what would black males do if you didn't have these daily privileges like internet and technology and all of these things? What would you do if it was taken from you, from the people who you say are oppressing you? What would you do? You
right,
could you go into factories and direct your male counterparts and say, hey, let's build, let's create, we don't need them? No, you couldn't do that.
right,
So you're complaining, and I mean, what do? You just lay down? Are you gonna, you're happy with your station in life? It seems like your actions, your behavior says, I'm okay with my station, I've accepted my station in life. But at the same time, they call it that fake outrage and fake oppression. You're not oppressed, you're not outraged, because if you were, you'd actually do something about your current state of affairs. And
right.
another thing, I wanted to bring up this, you know um they're conquered. Now, it's related to black females. I'm not going to be long, but like black females, and I find that it's so interesting how they're always ragging on black women. Black women are the problem. White men are the problem. And I realized, and I really pondered on it. And what I realized about a lot of these black males, they're conquered. Period. They're conquered. They've been conquered. They've been conquered for thousands of years. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. But you know what? That's what men do. Men conquer other countries,
Facts.
places, on continents, other even other white groups of whites conquer other whites. So
Hmm.
throughout history, we just have not gotten it right. Us as people from the African diaspora, we just haven't gotten it right, and unfortunately, yes, you're being conquered, but look at look at the Asians, look at the Middle Easterns. They've managed to build themselves up and get themselves back to where they need to be. Unfortunately, in Africa, which is now going to be the new China, unfortunately, but you're just sitting there and you're laying down. What we can't do anything. I mean, and
That's
then coming
true.
back and how I'm sorry, how it relates to black women, all of this data about us being the most educated, starting new businesses, just being productive parts of society. I feel like this attack on black women is because they need to feel superior. They need to feel less conquered, black males. So
That's a good point.
we're gonna demean, destroy, and disrespect black women because we both are on the bottom, but black women are rising above black males, not because we hate you or don't need you or don't want you, but you've left us no choice. Again, like I said, they forced us to step up to the mantle of manhood. You forced us to. We are not allowed to rest in our femininity because we have to take we have to have a safety net, a plan A, B's. We have to work, we have to go to school, we have to have safety nets because we don't have male counterparts who love us, respect us, who think anything much of us other than a good time or taking care of them. And I'm going to finish it up right now. And I also want to mention how, yes, they're conquered and they're bullying us to in order because they can't bully any other male, they can't bully any other community, so they
Mm,
have to bully black women. So this is this attack. Well, submit to us, submit to our nothingness, because I need to feel like a man. So I'm
mm,
above you. I'm above you,
right.
black woman. I'm going to convince myself we're above you, even though the data shows that we're not. And another thing is like I
Well,
wanted you to talk about maybe in another live about
uh-huh.
Nature Boy. He has
Okay.
a video out and is really disturbing. It's like winter is coming. That whole Kevin Samuels thing, and it's like
Right.
a call to black males to harm black women. So I want
Okay.
all the black women to be very careful. And it's
Mm,
called Nature Boy. He's a guy. He has all these black women, a harem of black women that follow
okay.
him.
Yeah, I'll check it out, Tia. I appreciate that. And listen, you said a lot of good stuff there. You really did.
Yes,
You really
yes. I'm
did. So I
sorry. I
appreciate
know
you.
I was long winded.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Thank you, Tia, for that. I appreciate you. I'm gonna read the super chats. $5 super chat from IK says white supremacy promotes the idea that white is better. Some black men are among the main supporters of white supremacy. Exactly, praising other races of women or white women in particular. Becky, as we've affectionately dubbed her, right? We have a $10 super chat from Sherelle. Sherelle says the word racism is derived from the word race, as in who can win. It's natural for others to prioritize their own above others or over others. It's not white people's job to make sure that we get up and run our own race. And that is exactly why I'll never admit or give in to the idea of white supremacy being a foothold in my life. I just can't do it. Sherelle with the super chat and the words, some of the top words of the night. I really appreciate that. Hello, Placido. Good to see you in here, man. Good to see you in here. Sherelle also, you have some support from Rochelle. She says, thank you, Sherelle. That's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like white supremacy is really taking over, then you need to rely on your own people to dig you up out of that. Rachel doesn't agree. She says the super chat is very much wrong. It's very much wrong. We can have all have our own opinions, right? I appreciate that. Tia, I really did enjoy a lot of what you said, and I will look into that Nature Boy situation. I've seen Nature Boy. Nature Boy's kind of he's a different beast, man. That dude's crazy. He's wild. He's entertaining. I'll say that. Shelly, thank you so much for your patience. Then B Nelly, Jedi, I'm gonna have you go after King Solo and Jay, just because I want to let the new ones kind of go a little bit quicker. So we'll make sure to go to the new one soon. But Shelly's
Take your
beautiful.
time, bro.
Love you. I appreciate you, Jedi. Thank you, man. Let's try and keep it under 45 seconds if we can, just so we can kind of keep this conversation going a bit. and 45 seconds to a minute. We'll try and keep it clear and concise, and then we'll move on. So, Shelly, beautiful. The floor is yours, Shelly.
Hi, thank you so much. Can everybody hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. I have to say, for a group of men who constantly talk about um, that they're the most desired men on the planet and they could have any woman that they want, that's not a man, that's oppressed. For a
Right.
group of men who constantly say how they dominate sports like basketball and football, that's
Mhm.
not oppression. Um, and that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Shelly. Thank you. Clear and to the point. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. We're going to take Shelly down. I appreciate you, Shelly. We're going to clear some space on the panel for those who want to join. We'll see you next time, Shelly. I appreciate that. She came in and she left as quickly as she came. Pause moment. Obviously, pause. B Nelly, go ahead, my dear. The floor is yours. Or
Can
sir,
you
can
hear
you?
me?
Yeah, so hear you perfectly, Nelly. Forgive me.
Okay, great. Yeah, for me, I used to be someone that like believed heavily in white supremacy, I guess. And I guess it exists system on the system level, but I also feel like it can be used as a crutch in our community, and it could definitely hold us back. And I definitely see that with the men in our community. As far as to me, like men are supposed to compete with other men, not with the woman in their community or attacking the woman in their community because they feel like they can't compete. And that's just interesting to me. And I also saw that Nature Boy video, and it's very disturbing what they're saying when the next lockdown happens. I will just say that a lot of Black women, well, not a lot, are advocating to abolish the police. And a lot of these men are talking about the next lockdown. They're going to basically, I'm not going to say it, but it's really bad. So I would just be careful. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you, B. Nelly. I appreciate that. And yeah, I understand that, white supremacy might be affecting a lot of people's lives, or racial bias, as we've already kind of affectionately dubbed it. However, still, as a man, I can't accept another man using that as the solid stone that is immovable in his path or his road to success in America. That just doesn't fly there. And so I'll never accept that. And I'll never be comfortable with another man telling me that because of this reason, because of another race of people, I'm not able to do what I should be doing traditionally and fulfilling my responsibility and role as a man in America. But I do appreciate your point and perspective, Nelly. And I understand where you're coming from. However, we have to be careful not to give the most failed group of men in America any excuses to continue to fail. We have to do that as well. So thank you, B. Nelly. I appreciate you. We're going to take you down for now, my dear. We'll clear up some space, but hopefully we see you again soon. So have a good night, my dear. A very peaceful voice in B. Nelly. And she has a super quiet voice. Rare Gem with the $5 super sticker. I can't see what it is, but thank you for the $5 super sticker, Rare Gem. I appreciate that and the support of everybody who's donated and contributed tonight. I hope your drive and your evening commute is going well, whether you're going to the movies, whether you're at the movies, whether you're listening in your bed, whether you're listening in the shower. I'm not sure how you're doing that, but I'm sure some of you have afforded the money and the luxuries necessary to do so. One day, hopefully, I will. I hope that you're enjoying the show. I hope that y'all are enjoying the show. Takeem Hilton says, y'all sound hurt in the chat. Takeem, you look lost in your ABI picture, Takeem. So we're going to go ahead and block you. We're going to put you in timeout for now. Timeout you go, little boy. Timeout you go. We'll give you some time to behave and see if you can come back and obey the rules, all right? Now, we're going to move on to King Solo. King Solo, the floor is yours, King Solo. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Not a problem.
I think this whole concept of being Black is demeaning just within itself. I'm a human being created by the Most High. These color constructs that was laid upon people is just a way to either value people or devalue people. So when you label yourself as being Black, you take on all of the things that someone else says that you are. So if they want to call you lazy and shiftless and everything else that they think is bad or good, or a hoe or a slut, and you say that you are those things, when you take on this title of being quote unquote Black, when you're just another human being like everyone else, you take on everything else that comes along with it.
Yeah, I kind of hear what your point is. It sounds like it's definitely, in alignment with what we're trying to say here, and I hear you. Yeah, it's the being black is not inherently a negative thing, right? That being black obviously is not the end all be all to one's, you know, ultimate consequences and decisions in life, right? So I want to be very careful though to make sure that we're not trying to align being black in America or being brown skin or African American or whatever you want to classify we are as, since everybody, all the Negroids think that we're something different. I want to be careful that we're not just trying to align that image with a negative connotation or stereotype, right? It's I don't think that most races look at inherently being black as a bad thing. I think what they do is they observe the culture and the pop culture and the uh, what you can say, I guess, is the more media biases in a lot of cases, which end up being, unfortunately, factual statistics in a lot of cases, and they'll kind of ping that image to us. But yeah, I don't think any of us necessarily look at ourselves as black in a negative way to begin with. I think that a lot of times when we assess our community, we see a lot of the negative influences in it, and then that can lend itself to a lot of negative social perspectives and stereotypes about us. So I appreciate your rhetoric, and I hear what you're trying to say for sure. There, I hear what you're trying to say, and I agree with that. I agree with that. So thank you
I
for that, King Solo.
one other thing, I just that when I say the thing, I'm saying why label yourself a color anyway?
Right.
Why
Yeah.
even buy into what someone brought you here
Mhm.
and then told you that you were, and then you continuously keep buying it. To me,
Yeah.
that's the supremacy. If you want to call
Mm.
it supremacy, the supremacy is okay. You're selling me something. I don't agree with it, but I'm going to
Right.
keep buying it anyway, no
Right.
matter what.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I think that's a fair point to make for sure. I do understand that, and I hear what you're trying to say. I think it's a great perspective. I think that's a great perspective, King Solo. I like that. Why let somebody else put their own label on you and who you are? I think that's a great point. I think that's a very interesting point there. I think it's a very interesting point. So I appreciate that, King Solo. We're gonna move on, but we'll keep you on the panel, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right now. King Solo, interesting point there. I love having the panels and hearing people's trains of thought. It's very interesting. Alexander Brandon with the $5 super chat. Alexander Brandon says, I'm starting to see black women with all races of men except black men, and black women are vetting those guys too. I think you're very right about that, Alexander. And it's one of those things where when it starts becoming more of the social norm and other races start to see that message of divestment, we'll start to see that more commonly throughout society, right? But just like Godfrey freaked out at the advertisement of a black woman with a white man and that little couple that they had, that's going to start becoming more of the norm because media, society is starting to accept that and conceptualize the interracial relationship of black women with other races of men, and making that more of a traditional type relationship. That's something that was unheard of in the 70s and 80s. Maybe not unheard of, but a lot more rare in the 70s and 80s. And nowadays, it doesn't have that same stereotypical taboo as it might once have had, unfortunately, in this country. Times are changing. Times are changing. And some of us, men particularly, black males particularly, don't want to shift to the time. Don't want to shift. Jay, the floor is yours, Jay. Thank you for the patience. And then we're going to go to Wave Principal and then Jedi Mike. Then Jedi Mike. Jay, the floor is yours. Let's see if I can unmute you. Okay, Jay? You there, Jay? Going once for Jay? Going twice for Jay. Okay, we'll keep Jay in the background for now. Jay's got something going on. We're gonna go to Jay. Did you unmute yourself? We can't hear you, Jay, if you're saying something. So you might need to back out and come back on. Yeah, we can't hear you. So I'm gonna take you down. Just try and come back up. Reconnect your audio if you can. Try it again. Sometimes it happens, Jay. Wave Principal, the floor is yours, Wave Principal. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I just wanted to say that whenever the collective is challenged to actually take on so-called white supremacy and to improve themselves, they'll say, "Oh, well, we don't have weapons, and we don't have the military that we have." And it's that's not what you need. It's economic now.
Right.
That's it. And that's where you have to compete. And obviously there's four areas. There's real estate, stocks, cryptocurrency, and entrepreneurship. Those are the 4 areas. So if you can compete in those 4 areas, then that's essentially all you need to do is get educated in those 4 areas, and there's no excuse because YouTube has so much free information in
Right.
all 4 of those areas. They'll teach you in real estate, they'll teach you how to actually obtain credit, what all the steps you need to have, all the boxes you need to check to obtain the right amount of credit so that you can take advantage of what's about to happen in real estate, because all of the experts are predicting that it's about to crash, and we as a community, I mean, yeah, the men in particular could take advantage of that and grab some of this real estate,
Yeah,
so
I agree. And
yeah.
Wave Principal, it looks like you have a disagreeer, and I'm going to pause you or mute you for 1 second. We have a slave-minded Negroid in the building. The Danger Russ says, look at that ABI. My, what a character. Like Black Wall Street, how'd that work out? So he is essentially referring to the Black Wall Street that was bombed and I think lit on fire by racial mobs back in the 20s or 30s, whenever it might have happened. And so the Danger Russ, I guess that means that we're just conquered at this point, right? We just can't rebuild Black Wall Street. There's no possibility of that happening again, even though white people are not hanging black people from trees like they were back when Black Wall Street existed. And this is what I always say. Negroids like you, unfortunately, did much better when you were hanging from trees. That sounds harsh, but unfortunately, we had a Black Wall Street when Negroids like you had your lives threatened. Somehow, when freedom was given to you, you figured out that you didn't have the ability to do what our then ancestors were able to do with a lot less of the freedoms and restrictions that you have now. A very interesting point. So, Danger Russ, I know you've given up, and white supremacy rules your life at this point, in that you don't have the ability to build decades and decades later, 100 years later, another Black Wall Street. But we're not relying on you to be able to do that because we know that you don't have the ability to do that to begin with, if we're being quite frank and honest, right? Like Black Wall Street, how'd that work out? So you want me to build another Black Wall Street? Because what if they burn it down again? A 55, possibly 60-year-old man saying that we can't rebuild Black Wall Street in 2021. 100 years. Marianne says 100 years later and still conquered. All right. How Black Wall Street work out? and then they wonder why they're last. But you need to follow me though. You need to follow me though. Black women don't want to follow me. Takeem said this chat big mad. Takeem, you're gonna be blocked on every single account you create, but I encourage you to create as many as you like because it helps my analytics. So keep on going. You can join though if you'd like to, Takeem. You can join for all intensive purposes of entertainment. Lolita said, I'm so tired of hearing that foolishness. That was 100 years ago. Niggas will enslave themselves until the end of time, and they're upset. And niggas like that will be upset that we say that black men are conquered. We ain't conquered though. It's just that the white man won't let us build the Black Wall Street, but we not conquered though. Alex said retro dust. Jackie said, "Wait, not Takeem coming in with a different account." Yeah, that's what you got to do when you get blocked. You have to make a different account. Takeem has multiple accounts. Listen, this is the third one. Takeem, and they get dustier with each. The pictures look dustier with each account. Takeem, I respect the hustle, man. I respect the hustle. I almost want to keep that one up just because of the hustle, man. I do respect you creating the other accounts. Listen, I'm just gonna time this one out. Just be a little nicer, and we'll keep this one out. I'll just time it. All right. How many accounts do you have? You must be doing this a lot, man. Jesus. Lord have mercy. The real Aaron Collins is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. The real Aaron Collins. Aaron, sometimes we just can't win with some of our brothers here. I'm going to go ahead and let Jedi Mike go really quickly. Then we'll go to Aaron Collins, and we're going to get his perspectives and his thoughts on everything that has transpired on this. Jedi, the floor is yours. Jedi, go ahead.
All right, thanks, man. How you doing, man?
Oh, man, it's another beautiful night, another warm evening in Texas, but it's good to be with our community. The truth hurts, and it's just a matter of us getting the truth out to continue the growth that the men who do want to hear do choose to accept are willing to apply this to grow, men like us, myself personally, and other races of people who are watching this right now, who are hearing this, can kind of understand and have a little bit more empathy with some of those in our community who the failed leaders, by and large, choose to bring down in every aspect. Right. So just another night, man. Another day at work, right? How's everything been
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, good. I'm actually at work now. I'm about to leave. I'm in my car right now. But I just
Nice,
when I
man.
saw the topic, I just couldn't miss that.
No
And
problem.
hello, everyone. Hey, Mercy. How you guys doing in the chat and everything? Good to see y'all. But I just want to say this topic burns me to my core. I like to give this kind of perspective in a younger sense because I'm in college right now. I'm going to my last year, double majoring engineering graphic design, and I can just tell you to talk about how just in the school system, how we want to say, well, supremacy. People want to have the bandwagon on in terms of why they're not succeeding in terms of what they're doing in academics or in terms of what they're struggling in and whatever it might be. And my dad, what he says that, in terms of success, white supremacy had nothing to do to getting your priorities in straight. A lot of the things that us as black men we have done, a lot of us that we have failed to do, in fact, that we haven't got our priorities in straight, but yet we want to go hop on the back with him saying, because supremacy is the reason why I am, not because of my choices. And that's the thing, and the frustrating fact that supremacy is kind of like the last resort that comes to a lot of things that, looking in terms of lacking responsibility and accountability. But that's the easy escape route because that's the only thing you can go to. Because like I said, the truth hurts is what you said, brother. But the one thing is that when you lean on to the victim Olympics of talking about why, creating, having taken responsibility, the situation that you got put in. Now I understand we can't choose the situations we're born in life, especially just as black people. That is a choice. I mean that's reality. And the thing about with that is that you actually plant your feet and know where you are and know okay, all I have to say is me, my mindset, and what my drive, where I need to go to. And the only thing that comes to that is ambition and also only have enough self-respect and know, okay, you know what? No one's not going to be in charge of my responsibility but me. That's it. And that's the thing in terms of the education and school system that one of my senior projects that we're doing that, there's not many black males in there. But one thing we have going to our senior project, which takes about 2 semesters, is that we're building like an iOS app, but we have to get in teams, right? And this is the kind of thing that why he's saying supremacy is keeping us separate. But I'm looking around is that, we're not, as black men, not working together. And that's saying, okay, you want to have your priorities in straight instead of defying the odds, and defying the odds of that coming at you just as a black person in general, regardless of what you do, okay, let's listen, you're not going to control me. This is fear. You're not going to paralyze me in terms of what I need to do. And that in terms of my mission, what is to succeed. Right. That's the thing. I am going to conquer regardless of not. I'm like, supremacy is not in the vocabulary of winners. I mean, that's just how it is. But the thing with that is, and the thing with that is that for us as black men is that have a black man that truly knows what he's capable of, but also have an edifying responsibility, knowing what's his priorities in the straight. I'm saying to me, it's unstoppable. Like I said, you defying bullets that getting thrown at you. And in terms of the isms and all that stuff, there can be racism and all this stuff. That still, to the day we die and to the end of time. That's all it is. So until realize, okay, what's left of me? Either I'm gonna make the world better than before I had my time that God's given me on this earth. That fact that I'm gonna make it better than the way I came in it, and before I leave, and that's what I'm gonna do. And with that, I'm not gonna use deflecting responsibility, saying it's a women's fault, saying that it's white supremacy, that they're keeping us in bondage, instead of saying, you know what? All right, if I want to be, if I want to change 80% out of wedlock, if I want to get married and I have kids and also I have a dick, and have the responsibility to have to say, this is my choice and responsibility. The fact that I control the situation, I control in terms of my income, about the decisions I make in terms of what the job I want. It requires education, require any prerequisites, call anything, and that times that require like studying, taking all the time and need to actually build and actually make the point, like the ambition and the high value status that all of us will so-called claim we want to be. But there's a cost to that. It's a cost is putting in the work. And I asked the question, how many of you are actually doing that?
That's it, man. Absolutely, Jedi. Absolutely. There's nothing that's going to hold me back in my goal and my dreams in life at this point. I've accepted that, and I'll work as hard as I can, no matter what anybody thinks of me, no matter what anybody says about me, because I'm a man. I stand on my own 2 feet. And I'm going to try my hardest. And if I fail, hey, I fail. But I'm not going to fail because I didn't try because of what somebody else thinks or feels about me or whatever kind of social concept they claim exists against me or whatever it might be. No, that's not going to stop me. I'll fail by my own hands before I let somebody else kill me. I'd rather die by my own hands before I let somebody else take away my life. Lord have mercy. The real Aaron Collins is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. It's so good to see you again. AC, the floor is yours, brother.
What's going on, esteemed brethren and sisters on the panel? And I just want to just basically piggyback off what Jedi Mike just said, and you too, Truth. I mean, you guys are so absolutely 100% correct. I mean, yeah, true enough, we do deal with racism and white supremacy. I don't doubt it, but there's still no excuse because we can still prosper. No matter what's going on. There's still plenty of avenues to do the things. A lot of these dudes, these Negroes, they want to do is they rest on their laurels and sit around and make excuses to why they can't do anything. And like I was like watching some of these manosphere whack jobs last night. They were going in on Golden Beauty because she was the victim with the whole young Pharaoh situation, but they're going in on her, and it's like it just pisses me off that these dudes, these Negroes, just continue to just sit and make excuse after excuse after excuse as to why they can't get anything. Well, the white man hold me down. You know what? If you give someone that much power over you, you were never a man to begin with. If you give one
Absolutely.
individual, I mean, it's been 100 years or more since slavery ended. I mean, okay, I get it. Like I said before, I don't doubt that we live in a system of white supremacy. Okay, cool, fine. But still, I still find a way. I'm going to still make it regardless. I'm gonna still make it as long as God has a breath in my body. As long as He gives me a purpose, I'm going to still make it. And excuses are just not me. I recently did a video talking about some of these dudes about what a high value man is. You know, when I see a high value man is what I see in the mirror. It's what
Right.
it's what honest truth sees in the mirror. What Jedi Mike sees in the mirror. That's a high value man. High value goes out and handles his business and takes care of his business as a man, does what he's supposed to do. That's what you call a high value man. A high value man is not based on what kind of suits he wears or labeling women as one nines and tens and all that other ridiculous shit that they do. That's not what a high value man is. High value man is someone who protects his family, protects women, and doesn't expect any kind of kudos and rewards. I mean, these dudes
Yeah.
out here are ridiculous. I have a good friend, a black woman, her ex husband. He basically wants a reward for sending his kids $50 a week, which is nothing. It's like you don't get a pat on the back for taking care of your responsibility. You,
Right.
you don't
Absolutely.
you don't do that. That's your given service. You're really supposed to do more. I mean, these guys. I mean, they get mad. She put me on child support. Well, if you take care of your children, you wouldn't be on child support. I mean, what's it
That's it.
gonna take for you to realize there's a such thing called latex condoms, or just keep it in your pants? But
Yeah. It's
that's too
it's, it's
much
a
like
kind of
right.
accountability. No, of course, accountability can't be had because when they do have to face accountability, then all of a sudden it's the white man's court system that's holding them back, right? it's
But
it's
that's part of
always
self-control, man.
that's
That's too
it.
hard to ask for them, right?
That's
Apparently,
it.
yeah.
That's it right there, John. It's
and
true, man.
and and to be honest with you, in America, having children is the number one way to poverty in America. Whether you on child support or you just have to take care of them in general, this is one of the most expensive countries on the planet to have a child and take care of it. America has set it up to where having children is a gateway to poverty.
Yeah, well, it still ends up being what the community and what systems the community has in place to support the children that are in the community. It's we have to be careful, and once again, because this will start to lend itself over to the oh well, it's difficult in America and whatever it might be. Yeah, I understand that it's not easy. However, at the same period and the same time, there needs to be systems in place that a community can utilize that the systems or that the community has built for its own. Right. So the reason it's so difficult in the black communities to have a baby, to bring a child into a healthy, responding, well balanced emotional state of mind is because as a black community, we do not have the monetary infrastructure systems, healthcare systems in place to actually take care of our own. Right. We just don't have that. Having said that, yes, of course, it's expensive to have a kid in America. We get that. But what can help alleviate those causes? Well, having more black doctors, right? Having more OBGYNs, having more pediatric doctors. This is why, once again, when black males like Kevin Samuels gives the figurative pimp slap to women who come onto the channel praising them, who are happy that they have certain high levels of degrees or whatnot. This is why I say that the black male and Kevin Samuels and all of his millions of Negroid-minded minions are the newest face of white supremacy. Because when you do live in a country that's as competitive economically as America, and you shit on the best of the black people that are in the most competitive country in America, then you're only doing yourself a disfavor in the end. That's why I say, and that's why I put the KKK hat on niggas like Kevin Samuels. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Takeem
think
isn't. One second, Keen Solar. We're gonna have to move on here. I appreciate you though, King Solar. We'll come back to you in a bit, bro. Takeem is in the building. We want to go ahead and hear from Takeem. Takeem, I know you've been active in the chat. Much respect to the multiple accounts that you're on. Let's try and focus on this conversation. I see you're going off. Let's be respectful in the chat, Takeem. Let's be respectful. Takeem, what do you disagree with so much with the stance that we have here?
I just want to know the topic.
Okay. Well, the topic is in the name of the video. Did you read the title?
Nah, it was just on my recommendation, so I slid through. I just want to see what y'all was talking about. Then I got attacked in the chat. Like, what's that all about?
Well, you probably didn't get attacked for no reason. You probably said something, man. You know, and if you say something that's kind of out of line, then you know you're gonna have to face a little bit of retribution for it. You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I know how that go. I know the YouTube politics and how all that go.
yeah, well, there you go. Well, what's so surprising to you? Why are you so surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm just trying to figure out.
Well,
We
what do
trying to
you?
have a mature adult conversation. People acting like immature children in the chat. That's crazy. Like,
No, I feel you. I feel you, Takeem. Takeem, what are you doing? You going to work right now? Are you going home? Or are you just chilling in the car?
nah, I
You got
just left my boy's house. I'm chilling. I'm in the car right now.
Oh, okay. Nice. Were y'all playing some 2K or something?
Nah, not even. We was
I feel you, bro.
we was
So,
drinking.
Takeem, do you believe in white supremacy, Takeem?
I mean, to an extent, but it's not what people try to make it out to be.
Well, that's good. You know, I'm with you there. You know, and I can at least start to, you know, acknowledge or understand the point of reference where you're coming from. Now, if this was in your recommended feed, then most likely you take part in the manosphere, which is men like Kevin Samuels and his
Correct.
minions and things of that nature. So that's why you got recommended this video. And so what I like to do and what I speak on this channel is men like Kevin Samuels being the worst thing for the black community. And what do you think about that, or how does that instinctively make you feel inside when I say something like that?
Well, I'm not a Kevin Samuels fanboy, so I don't like protect or defend him. So
Well, that's good.
I mean,
You sound balanced.
to me, Kevin Samuels is just entertainment. Like, I don't take his word as the gospel like everybody else. So for me, Kevin Samuels, he's just entertainment on YouTube for me. I don't go by everything he say like everybody else. They worship every word he says. So it's like that's entertainment.
Well, Takeem, it sounds like you're just a relaxed person who's just kind of here for all the smoke, no matter what side they're on. So we'll let you be, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and go a little easier on Takeem. It sounds like he does not know what he stirs sometimes, and so he's new here. We'll try and give him a little bit of a time period to adjust to what kind of happens here. But Takeem, kind of take your time and you know, welcome to the channel, and you'll hear exactly what I speak on in the future. Stick around, and hopefully, you know, you'll start to form more of a stance as time goes on. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Not a problem, Takeem. Enjoy your evening. Bye. All right. Takeem didn't sound like he was all bad. He didn't sound like he was all bad. You know, it sounds like he was just kind of self-defending, in a self-defense state of mind. Organic Black said, that's why I ain't blocking. Well, Organic Black, you're fair. I blocked 2 of his accounts, but I'm glad I didn't block the 3rd. I'm glad we spoke to him. You know, Kevin Samuels, he's not entertaining to me, in my opinion, because I don't seek entertainment and degeneracy. That's just me. But having said that, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? The other case says, he was disrespectful in the chat. Okay, I didn't see it. Was he disrespectful? I can't barely remember, to be honest with you. He had 4 or 5 accounts, right? Couldn't keep up with them. Well, it sounded like when the smoke came to him, he didn't want to keep up the disrespect. So, what can you do? What can you do, right? Well,
can I make a comment real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Jedi.
Yeah, I don't want to make a comment to the person that mentioned about Black Wall Street, because one thing that always kind of, that's another scapegoat they use. Like, well, we built Black Wall Street, they destroyed that. Well, listen, there's a thing about when you're trying to create, I guess, with an empire or whatever. That unfortunately some empires do get conquered. But the whole thing about that is the reason why the Black Wall Street failed. And looking at it, because as much as we had the infrastructure, we didn't have protection. But us as a men being protected, we didn't have actually knowing that we were targeted. That we actually had a level of security, in terms of around that area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to the fact that we weren't really prepared for that battle that came. We were, ambushed or attacked, you may say. But the problem is the fact that we didn't say, okay, we learned from the attack, we rebuild, we rebuild, we grow, and then we repeat. That's how it is. But we didn't do that. So that's the saying, the fact that if you're afraid that, oh, well, what happened? They attack again. Then we raise the foundation. We know we rebuild, we grow, and then we repeat the same thing. If you keep thinking that, well, they're going to come again, then let them come. Let them come. That's just saying that if you have that mentality, thinking that, okay, well, just because you knock me down, like the whole thing of that saying, you cough one head with two replaces, will take his place. That should happen with mentality. Black people. Well, you kill one Black person, then you got two more that can build two more schools, two more hospitals, two more banks. That's how you do it. I mean, that's just plain and simple. But that's what other communities do it. Why not we? That's it.
Jedi, I have to agree with you there, Jedi. I have to agree with you there. Listen, we're going to go ahead and go through our panel another time. We'll get everybody another chance to speak. I know we have a lot of people on the panel right now, so we'll make sure we get everybody a chance to speak again. We're going to start with Queen Mercy. Queen Mercy, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for your patience, dear. Where do you stand right now in our conversation, and what did you have to say about any of the points that were recently added?
Okay, I would like to say something in particular about reparations. I used to be a person who was for reparations, and then because some of my family members still live on former plantations in different parts of the U.S. So I was a person who was for reparations, but then I realized something. I'm not a person that likes to take handouts. So why would I want a handout? And it's kind of like saying I'm the type of person that likes to challenge myself. I like difficulty to know that I'm able to do something. So why would I want a huge handout when I personally didn't suffer that oppression my ancestors did? And those people who oppressed my ancestors are not alive today. So it would be a joke and also a slap in the face of Black men to their manhood that they couldn't accomplish. Like you said, like my family who still lives on those plantations, they can move. They just don't want to move, you know? So,
Yeah.
that's what I have to say.
I think you're right. Accepting reparations is essentially admitting as a man, like you said, that the men couldn't do the job and build enough. So help us, white man. We hate you, but help us. Right? What kind of backwards narrative is that? I think that's a great point, Queen Mercy. I have to agree with you there. Great points. I appreciate that, dear. We're going to move on to Lin. Was there anything else you want to say, Queen?
You can take me down to make room for someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Queen Mercy is so. Queen Mercy got some love in the chat. She says she's so pretty. She's very peaceful as well. I always appreciate you, Queen Mercy, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, Queen Mercy.
Yeah, I'll step down too, man. I'll let more people come in.
No
showing support to you, brother. Everyone, love y'all. I'll see y'all. God bless y'all.
Much appreciated, bro. Take care. Talk soon.
I'll step off too. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, King Solo. Talk soon, man. All right. We're making some space. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in, this is your chance to call in. We're going to start wrapping it up here in a little bit, though. We're going to let Diana speak really quickly, and then we'll go through our panel one more time. We'll give final words, and we'll save Alexander. Alexander, we'll save you last but not least. We save the best for last, Alexander. Diana, the floor is yours. I appreciate you, Diana. Diana, make sure you unmute yourself. I can't unmute you.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me.
Hi.
Hi. I was just calling to comment on the whole white supremacist thing. And it's like with the Black community, it's like we know it exists, but for some reason, a lot of Black men and women tend to use that as a crutch or excuse to not move forward and better themselves.
Right.
A lot of other races are not doing that.
Right.
And I believe I said in the chat earlier that you had Black people who were able to benefit from affirmative action to get college educations and chose not to.
Yep.
But then want to complain because I didn't have access to it either. I wasn't, by the time they got rid of it and it was time for me to go to college, it wasn't around, but I didn't let it stop me.
Right.
And I'm just over people and the excuses. I actually just got accepted into law school myself. So
Wow.
if there's a will, there's a
Congratulations,
way.
Diana.
Thank you.
Man, that is awesome. I love to hear
Yeah.
that. You hear?
So I just want people to know that
Wow.
people really need to get out of that space. I mean, you can say that we can recognize that it exists, but you can't let it control where you're trying to go.
Man, I
You
tell
just
you what,
can't.
you can't do it. You can't do it, Diana. You'll forever be dead last. You'll forever be that victim. And it doesn't do you any good. That's the crazy point. That's the crazy part. Why would you get upset at us telling you that you shouldn't hold yourself down to the negativity and that the level of negativity or disparity that you hold yourself at? How can you get upset at that? That's crazy.
It's crazy, and then they want to get mad at you for telling the truth. It's just like it just boggles my mind. It just makes no sense. And I'm raising a young son who's going into high school, and I don't play with him. He's not Dusty. I make sure that he don't even ask me for money. Do you hear me? Anything
Hmm.
he wants, he works for. Hey, can I go to grandpa's house and do this so I can make money so I can get this? He doesn't ask me for anything.
Wow. Mother dear,
So
you did
this
a
is how
great
people
job.
need to start raising their kids and stuff. And people need to really get out of that slave mentality because it's hurting you. It's hurting
Yes,
you more than it hurts, you know, us collectively. If you have that lock around your mind, you're not going nowhere.
absolutely. It's
So
it's
I just
so
wanted
true.
to call and say that and thank you for your content. I just wish that you could like go into every middle school or elementary school and just like teach like a whole course on
Hmm.
how to undo negativity that's been taught in the black community because it's not helping.
Absolutely. And you know what?
So
Hopefully one day, Diana, I can get my credentials and get a big enough, name to where we can do something like that. That is a goal of sorts. I appreciate that, and I'll keep that at the back of my mind as
yeah,
one of my goals to
just
reach.
taking
So
your time. The doors will open. You'll end up meeting a bunch of different people, and one day to just come together because they need to
mm,
have people like you in the classroom. It'll make a big difference. I'm telling you. So I just wanted to say that.
absolutely,
Thank
Diana.
you.
Listen, you have so many congratulations in the chat. You continue to do well and be the best of us. And we really appreciate you. And for the Negroes that talk bad about education, coincidentally, the most felony convicted group of men in America, and be careful of the words you say in regards to black women, because there are more black female lawyers, or there will be, because they out educate you in the future. So you might end up needing one of them one day. We don't care about your degree. Right. All right. There's a good chance 1 in 4 of you are going to really care about her degree within the next 20 years. Thank you, Diana. We're going to take you down, my dear. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And we're going to move on with Linlin. Linlin, the floor is yours. We'll give your final words, and then we're going to kind of wrap this thing down. Linlin, thank you so much for being here yet again. What did you want to wrap this up with?
Yeah, I'll just say, and to I forgot her name, but to her point, she just talked about her son and how motivated he is at a young age. And people would still say, but it's the black moms that are, to blame, and her son is seemingly on the right track. So it's just ridiculous. But to the point with the white supremacy, um, I'm just wondering because, I still saw a lot of comments talking about, oh, well, when they did what they did in Tulsa and when they did what they did with Black Wall Street, look what they do to our communities. My whole thing is at what point, like, what is the decade where we can all agree that we can now move on from this? Because, or is it going to be indefinite? I'm just curious to know, is it going to be indefinite? Is that going to be the one period of time that we're going to consistently refer back to,
Right.
or are we ever going to be allowed to move on from this?
Right.
When we dropped bombs on Hiroshima, we dropped 2 bombs on Hiroshima, and the Japanese came back in decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too many examples, and of other groups that have had uh, you know, tr- travesties happen to them and have come back from it. There are just too many examples to list for this to be the one thing that you just keep going on and on about. I don't understand. And my whole thing, and I'll end it here, You can give up when you can honestly say to yourself that you have done everything. You have
Right.
exhausted all of your options. You have traveled every road. You've gotten every degree. You've applied to every job. Like you have literally done everything and you have exhausted 1,000% of your options. Then you can go to sleep. Then you can go to sleep and go, yes, I give up. Okay, I've
Mm.
done everything. But can you all really say that you have done everything? Like, just be honest with yourselves. Have you really tried? Have you really tried? Keep it real. That's all.
Linlin, those are some powerful words and some excellent words to wrap up this part of the live stream and this part of the discussion as far as white supremacy goes. I really appreciate your time. That was a powerful perspective and something to think about for the future. Absolutely. Absolutely on point, Linlin. Thank you for being here, my dear. We'll see you soon in the near future. That was Linlin, ladies and gentlemen. Linlin. That was a great point. It's a great point. I love that reference to the atomic bombs. And obviously, I don't love that atomic bombs were dropped. I'm not saying that I love that. However, I do respect and admire the Japanese for being able to rebuild from something that was utterly, completely, I can't even imagine, completely destructive, right? Lord have mercy. IK with the $4.99 super chat says, when a person situates themselves as a victim, there is zero power. That's it. The forever victim mindset of Black males. Unfortunately, the majority of them. Hopefully, some of them end up seeing this and start thinking, maybe I'm not a victim. Maybe I can do something. That's all we want, right? Mia, your final words, Mia. I appreciate your time, my dear. And we'll try and keep it quick if you can. Somebody dropped off. Mia dropped off. Everybody's dropping off.
Can you hear
Mia,
me? Hello?
yeah, I can hear you, Mia. Go ahead.
Okay. Final words. You are not oppressed. That's it.
I love it, Mia. I love it. Those are some beautiful words and so very well eloquently said. So thank you, Mia. We'll see you on the next one, okay, dear?
See ya.
Bye-bye. Adorable. Jay, your final words, Jay. Oh, Jay, I don't think you even got to speak. So these will be your first and your final words. Unmute yourself. I unmuted you. Can you speak really quickly? Hopefully we can hear you.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we hear you perfectly, Jay. Go ahead. No, you didn't get too much time to talk yet.
Okay. So that was a lot to unpack. I think we're all in agreement that there's a system of white supremacy, that it's in every continent, whether it be South America, Central America, Asia, Europe. Every country basically is anti-Black. And even in America, there are systems set up in prisons to basically the crack and coke laws to convict the most Black men because of weed convictions. Basically everyone knows that with a felony you can't apply for financial aid. It's harder to get into colleges, right? But I do agree with the fact that everything is harder, but there's alternatives. You can evolve from that. There is the World Wide Web. You can teach yourself laws. You can teach yourself the Constitution. I remember there was something on a Black man that basically he had a felony and he got out, he opened up a hot dog stand and basically he's making $2,000 a week because he found an alternative for not being able to get hired because of his felonies. So I do agree that, yeah, there are systems that their school systems, urban school systems that keep Black people down. Even like the prison system doesn't also affect only affect Black men. It affects Black women too. Instilled in the judicial system, there's a lot of systems that Black women.
I'll go ahead and Jay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop you here because it looks like we're gonna kind of dig into a lot of stuff. And listen, I hear what you're trying to say, and I completely empathize with what you're trying to say. You know, definitely. But it still kind of goes back at the end of the day where we need to make sure that there's a community for our own to be able to stand up. Now, here's what I have to say. For everything that you mentioned, everything that you said, even if it is applicable, the solutions to it can still be resolved or can still be found within one's own community. For instance, if you feel or if you think that, or if you even if agree with or see the statistical analysis, the factual proof that black men are convicted or being convicted for unjustly for jail, for weed, whatever it might be, then we need to focus on the solution, right? We need to focus on what the solution would be. So if that is the case, then the solution would be to have more black representation in court, to have more black lawyers, to have more lawyers who would have the community's back, right? So what I'm saying is this: for every racial denigration, if you will, for every racial construct that's used against black people, even though it's not just black people, right? For every problem that you might have that's racially fueled, then it can still be at least quelched to some extent with that own race supporting themselves, right? So there's still solutions with every problem that might occur in the stereotypical white supremacy type of environment, whether that be from the 50s to 60s to 70s, 80s, 90s to 2021. If their community has your back, if the community has the resources necessary and needed to provide for you and for your protection and for your well-being going through these racially charged or tribulation times, then you're going to come out better on the other side. However, if you don't have a community that has your back, even if it really is some racist stuff going on, then you're going to be screwed no matter what. So at the end of the day, it still falls back on the community to be structured and in a position to where they can help you, even if some really racist stuff is happening, right? So I'm still not gonna be able to use it as an excuse. And I'm glad that you said the hot dog and gave the hot dog example, right? If you have a felony, it is a lot harder to get a job. So it's still no excuse, though, like you said, to just simply, oh, well, you know what, it's over, right? That's not an excuse. So I'm gonna keep you there, Jay, and we're gonna have you on next time. Sorry we didn't get to hear and speak to you sooner, but we'll kind of keep this and continue this conversation on the next live stream we have. Okay, my dear?
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Jay. Bye. All right, that was Jay, ladies and gentlemen. That was Jay. The real Aaron Collins. It's so good to see you once again, my friend. The final word for yourself, sir. Oh, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my brother, I appreciate it. Once again, this has always been a good stream. It's the thing that's sad is that you got so many of these brothers out here. They want to seek solace and comfort in the arms of their oppressor. It's like the very woman that you sit up there and dog black women over is the same woman that would have less than 100 years ago had you swinging from a tree with your nuts cut off. The same woman that will lie on you. The same woman that caused Black Wall Street to burn, as well as Rosewood. The same woman who would sit up there and drown her own children and still blame you. But this is the woman that you revere, the woman that you bow down to and worship, the woman who would definitely have you in chains. I'm talking about the one, aka Karen, aka Becky, aka call the police on every chance you get. But these are no excuses, and like we all tend to agree on the panel. I noticed that, yeah, we realize and recognize that these situations and conditions do exist. But there are still no excuses because we do have technology. I mean, these guys sit up there, play Madden and video games all day. Not that there's anything wrong with playing video games, but they don't tend to go to Google and look up some. Well, how do you do this? How do you do that? You can learn just about everything you want on what we used to call the World Wide Web. Google has the answers to pretty much everything. So I'm not buying it. So yeah, whatever you want to do, you can do. You can put your mind to.
Absolutely. And the world is in your hands. Absolutely. Absolutely, AC. Listen, man, I appreciate you being on again. You take care, brother. We'll see you in the near future. All right. The real Aaron Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Always good to have him on board. Always good to have real brothers supporting the podcast, supporting the show. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. A little shorter tonight. We had a 4.5 hour stream. Last one, right? A little shorter tonight, but always good to have you all once again tuning in with us all around the country, all around the world. Next episode is going to be back to our more traditional type rhetoric, more traditional type coverings, if you will. Already started planning out for the next one, and we'll have the new camera set up on the next one. We're going to continue to make this a better experience, whether listening, audio, or visual, seeing, for you, the subscribers. Thank you again for everybody that contributed and donated and that supported the show from the very beginning up until now. I want to thank you all for entrusting me for you with your time. Your time is literal money. I hope that this show gets you through your day-to-day activities and that it inspires hope and change within your own lives. That's my goal. And that's the goal for myself as well. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself, defend yourselves, protect yourselves. If you're a lady, start thinking about mace. knives, something, some kind of self-defense tool. I want you to make that this upcoming week's, this next Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 work week, goal for yours. Order something off of Amazon that you can start protecting yourself and your loved ones with. Keep a more observant eye around you as you go through society and the wiles that might occur, and just really start to think more consciously and observantly. Right, we're starting to see that some crazies are really around us, and that we might not have the community necessarily needed at this point in time to ensure our protection. Once again, this has been a Truth Seekers Live broadcast. I want to thank Yetta K for the $5 super chat. She says, keep doing what you're doing, brother. It's needed. I appreciate y'all's support. Vanette Gloud says, locked and loaded, ladies. Absolutely. Absolutely. McQueen Mercy says, I have a nice machete. Jeez. Mercy's not playing. Let's see. Mass Gaining Guy says, hit that gym tomorrow, people. Health is wealth. Mass Gaining Guy looks swole in that picture. I think I'm going to go ahead and do some push-ups tonight. Sherelle, thank you so much for everything. Sherelle says, always enjoy your live THT. I always enjoy y'all as well, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to do it for this episode. I need to start numbering them of the Truth Seekers Live podcast. We'll be back in 2 more days. More soul crunching, hair standing, hair raising, devastatingly entertaining revelations about the Black community and the Black males that thrive within the degeneracy of majority of Black America. I love you all. THT can be contacted at thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. And we have a Discord. I'll post the Discord link. I really need to, but I promise I'm going to start being on the Discord too more, yo. I promise I'm going to be on the Discord more. Oh, man, I have so many messages. Y'all, I'm trash. Jesus. I'm going to check all the Discord messages tonight, right now. There's the Discord link if you want to join the Discord. I'll be in touch with you all. I love you all. Take care. I will see you soon. Good night. Bye.